original plan was the best.
What, the chest shot?
Yeah,
Okay.
because at the very least, then I could still use my pop filter.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to bonus content.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
We're
I'm Alex.
all sorry.
Scott, Tony, and Nabishin are here,
Me probably the most.
as well as our wonderful guest, Jarrett. Hi.
I'm here.
Hi. How y'all doing?
My pizza's burnt.
At least we can... Your pizza is burnt, and I'm sorry. I feel
I'm not.
bad.
I'm not sorry.
Why?
Why
Haven't
would I
you-
ever be sorry about that?
Haven't you ever, like, burnt a pizza and it ruined your whole day?
No.
Really? I don't believe that. I feel like...
I've never burnt a pizza.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
I burnt a pizza and then I was happy about it.
It was more crunchy.
I mean, like, if it's
It's not
like...
really crunchy. It's like dusty.
Ooh.
That's
If it's-
you buying the wrong pizza.
If it's freshetta, then you're lucky if it doesn't fucking... Here's, like, this freshetta bullshit that happened to me in my lifetime. Like,
Bruschetta.
freshetta.
That's what you
Are
said.
we about to go on a journey, Alex?
We're about to go on a fucking journey. No. So, DiGiorno is the only frozen pizza brand I trust now. Because...
Red Baron, bro.
You see, that's
Red Baron's
funny
fine.
because
Bruno, trusted by Alex O'Neill on the Irrational Peasants podcast.
that's
Yeah, dude.
funny because there was a news story recently about the DiGiorno having glass shards in their frozen
Fucking,
pizza.
of course. Of course. I can't trust a goddamn pizza.
You gotta stick with the Baron.
No, I go to cook a freshetta and you throw it right on the rack because it makes it crispier. Okay,
It
we all
also
know
makes your
this.
oven like awful.
Yeah, whatever. And it falls through the creases in the fucking bars. Like, the pizza falls, it, like, splits apart and falls through the holes. What kind of fucking world do we live in where that shit can happen? So, you know what, Jarrett? Maybe it was a good thing you burned your pizza, because that shit could have happened.
I mean, both of those scenarios sound like fucking terrible.
Yeah,
Really?
definitely.
But, like, you know, in the melting scenario where the pizza melts through the bars, you kind of get, like, a bunch of, like, whatever they're called, stromboli. Just kind of rolled up, melted up pizza. You can eat those. It tastes terrible because it just
All
tastes
types
like
of
wet dough.
strombolis.
I mean,
Multiple strombolis.
it's multiple strombolis. Somebody write that down.
Autumn bolies.
Jared, how are you doing, man?
I'm okay.
Are you sure?
I mean, my life did take a dramatic turn like a couple minutes ago.
Yeah, the pizza thing is a real bummer.
Shit was gonna be real cool until I fucked it up for myself.
It
I mean,
was
you
gonna
have no
be,
one to
like,
blame but yourself for that, though.
dope as hell.
I'm just gonna blame Tony, actually.
Right.
Yeah, that's usually a safe bet.
But to be fair, I arrived after you were gone, so there was no influence that I had on your decision.
You don't know that.
Unless
Just
you're
because
like-
you weren't here when I was here doesn't mean you had no influence on my decision.
You're just busy fantasizing about me
Why I make pizza?
and my epic Armika skills.
something about pizza just like brings Tony
That's
to the forefront of my brain
Something about pizza.
and my desires.
You look at the burnt cheese on top of the pizza and you see like a silhouette of Armika and you're like, fuck! Just throw the pizza across.
Keep
the
slapping her butt.
Slapping the cheese and butt slapping is like two things, two great tastes that probably don't taste great together.
Yeah,
I mean, don't
they
knock it till
probably
you
don't
try
taste
it.
great together. You're not wrong about that. That's good. I mean, like outside of that though, Jared, like how's life?
I mean, it's all right.
All right, I can get into that.
So
You
This
still
is
writing
this is
a
how
whole
close
bunch?
things have to be in order for me to have them on camera. Okay.
Okay, you got it. You got this figured out, Scott.
Yeah.
We can see Scott now. If you are just tuning in, Scott,
Scott has a phone, apparently.
he's using his camera that I gave him and told him to use.
Hold up. Maybe I can do something cool here.
Are we gonna like what reflect the camera?
I would. Yes.
Okay.
I was.
Yes. Okay.
I'm
You see
lost.
what I need to do is I need to have a camera taking a video of that camera.
Oh.
So, and then this camera will. I'm gonna need a mirror for that on this phone.
Sorry, I'm gonna need a few more tools.
So you're making a witness puzzle for your camera setup, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Well, you see, all I wanted to do was show you guys infinite forehead today, but I couldn't figure out how to get it to work.
It's okay. That's a tough challenge. Well, now we've got like 150 more episodes to do that.
Yeah.
Actually,
And
we
zero
only have,
forehead.
We only have 31. You have to get it figured out before episode 300. Like, I need this shit done. Are you still writing for all like 7 different websites, Jarrett?
I mean, I send pitches to 6 of them. They're
Okay.
like, we don't have money this time. I'm like, cool. Or I'll send pitches to Kotaku, and they're like, we're not even going to talk to you.
Yeah, I mean that's how it goes.
That's not necessarily true. Like, I definitely have back and forth with particular editors at some of these places, but then
Yeah.
like never like any finality. So it's just like, okay, I guess it's just going to be in your inbox until you remember,
Yeah.
because you're not responding to anything else I said.
At least you're sending stuff out. I'm just at this point where I have like all this stuff that I've polished up together and I just haven't sent. I'm like, I should send this stuff out.
I don't do it consistently. Sometimes I'll sit down and like, man, I should probably just pitch a bunch of shit. Then I'll
Yeah.
do it, and I never do it consistently enough. So it's like I made contact, and then like 3 months later they forget I made contact again. So it's completely like not like productive contact.
Yeah.
And I
mean,
write enough at one place where I don't necessarily need to do anymore. But
So
you
I'm
know.
just I don't mean to derail, but I'm just like I was like, what is going on here? I was looking at our YouTube homepage, our analytics, and on the 28th of February, we had a total of 7,067 minutes of watch time. That means people watched that much of whatever the fuck we put out on this YouTube channel, which
On
totals
the 28th.
on the 28th, just on that day. Which totals to about 4 days and 21 hours.
What did you do on the
Nothing.
28th?
I don't think
I was
so.
just like opened his Let's Play on like 30 different windows.
But that's just like, and that's an impressive amount of time, and we made
$1.
47 cents.
Oh yeah.
So suck it. 42 cents, excuse me.
That YouTube money. It's unstoppable.
That's sweet
Dude.
fucking YouTube money though.
It's gonna,
At least we
it's
made
gonna
something.
pay for a
right?
mixer all by itself. Tell you what.
I can say I'm a
Tell you
YouTube
what.
strategist now. I can put that shit on my resume. Yeah, I was going through all of these pitches that I've written but haven't sent anywhere. I've written like 29 pitches over the past like 6 months. I haven't sent half of them. So that's cool, I guess. That's
It's
going
tough to
for
do.
me. I don't know. You're still killing it though. You're still writing it all the time, I feel.
Yeah, and we're stepping in a direction now at Gamepedia that I was trying to do last year, but I've got a bit more support now that I've been there for a while. I'm starting to interview some of the developers for the wikis that they have, because that whole branch of Curse, they're designed to make the wiki site sort of flourish, and they have a particular set of people who go to developers and appeal to them to make the wiki at Gamepedia their official wiki, if you will.
Oh.
So I'm trying to take a step further and contact those, either community managers or whatever at these places that have official wikis and try to get interviews with the developers.
Okay.
And there's a couple that may turn out, but with a lot of these developers, especially with GDC coming up, like no one really has time to talk. But that's a new horizon that has lots of potential.
Yeah, that could go somewhere in April after GDC's kind of in the past. So it's called evergreen content.
Yes. That's thank you.
See, YouTube strategist.
Yeah,
over
that 47 cents you made really,
It's 42
boosted
cents.
your. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it is so weird. Like I get like some people have gone through and added Irrational Passions to like different networks or whatever, like podcast download services. Like podcast.com. It's like, hey, here's ways to make your content better. Make evergreen content that's not relevant or is not specifically tied to relevance of the time. I'm
Right.
like, we haven't done that for like 268 episodes.
And that kind of work is difficult to do. Like
Yeah.
evergreen content is really like an old hat way to do these kind of things on the internet. Now it's like make sure you get a webcam so you can scream at your TV when a trailer comes on, so that everybody can watch and freak out.
or cry.
I'd watch it.
Yeah, or just straight up cry.
Like some of us here. That's how you get a quick 15,000 views. Is just cry on a Kingdom Hearts trailer.
Or just say some extremely racist shit.
That's true. Also,
Yeah,
it's
just
like
be upset and then be racist, or be upset and be sexist, and people will be like, "Man, you're just expressing your First Amendment. I'm proud of you."
For the president, I don't know.
yeah, or cry and be racist.
And
That's
really, so long as crying and tears and being racist are involved in your YouTube channel, you're probably gonna be okay.
Yeah, you'll probably be fine. I mean, that's that's the way to think out of the box on it.
Yes.
Cool. Well, I'm glad things are going well. Are you going to PAX East, Jarrett?
I don't think so. I could probably get like a press situation. Doesn't know how I'd get there.
Okay, so the flight is the issue now.
Yes.
Okay, if you can get there, I can tell you who you can cuddle up with.
Alex, not me.
Yeah,
Sounds like both of you.
that sounded like both to me.
Yeah, that immediate like no sounded like a yes. I got it.
It sounded like a no, but I just want to remind you, Tony, I'm probably bigger than you.
Probably.
So, I mean, I'm
definitely
cuddling, bro. And I think you'll come around to it.
We'll see.
You guys are actually probably the same height. 'Cause Tony's really tall too.
I'm like 4 foot.
I'm like 4 foot.
I ain't one to brag.
That's not true. Cool. Scott, anything happen with you this week?
No, not really.
Okay. How's your chest doing? I got a pretty good direct line of sight with it.
I mean, you can see how it's doing yourself. Oh,
Yep.
that's right. We have. Oh no, this is bonus content.
Yeah,
we
see,
don't have
there,
audio.
Scott pulled it, Alex. Everyone can see this shit.
Yep.
You can only see bonus content. I've thought about going in and because you can through the podcast app that we have. Thank you, Libsyn. You can go in and upload bonus content to that, like additional content to episodes. I was thinking about ripping the audio from these, like ripping the bonus content and putting it back in. And I'm like, man, that sounds like a lot of work. So here we are.
That idea can fuck right off.
Plus, we don't have infinite storage on the fucking podcast server. I had to upgrade our storage to $80 a month to fucking fill out all of our goddamn Game of the Year content. So it was worth it.
You're worth it.
Oh, thanks. Well, yeah, we missed you last week, Scott. How was the going out with your family?
It was fun.
Okay.
I missed the part where we were going out, kind of. So I just hopped over to my brother's house and we watched the Daredevil, 3 episodes of it.
The Daredevil.
Said hi to everybody. I ate way too much pizza that day.
Fuck yeah, you did. So is Jarrett. He's about to. Way too much burnt pizza.
Probably wasn't even burnt.
No, it wasn't burnt. It was perfectly fine.
It was just good pizza. It's
Yeah.
weird. Have you ever heard of that, Jarrett?
Yes. Just not in my plate right now.
You're from New Jersey, so I imagine burnt pizza is actually the worst thing.
Well, burnt pizza is probably better than whatever you guys eat in Maryland.
You're not wrong, but we're used to this, so
This is the cage you've been born in.
yeah, exactly. Nabishin, what about you? Tell me about life.
Nothing much. Nothing really. I'm thinking about context of things I want to say. Hung out with my friends. My best friend Mark, Katie. Me and Mark started talking, and we realized that we still liked old wrestling, and we realized that he never used the WWE network subscription free trial thing.
Oh.
So we used his name so we can get that 30-day free trial or whatever. I don't even know how long it's gonna last, but we just pretty much spent the night just looking at an old episode of Nitro, which was kind of funny and this interesting. Just looking at it again, we just talked to each other the entire time. Katie was reading the book, but she was still engaged with us for our dumb little hobby that we have since middle school. But it was fun. It was fun. It was more fun than I even remember. Just having old conversations about dumb WCW and WWF stuff. So that was great.
Mm-hmm.
That That was just a great like reminder type of thing. Like I wouldn't mind doing that like occasionally, but I don't want to bore Katie to death of our dumb bullshit. And I don't know, it's gonna run out soon, and like the whole reason like I wanted it in the first place, well WWE Network in the first place was because like I'm just gonna spend the time and just look at all this old like Nitro stuff. That's because I can, and like I just want to binge watch it. I was in a different place then. That was like what 2-3 years ago when that shit like launched or whatever, and like now I'm not. I barely watch anything, and like. I can't remember like the last thing. Oh, actually, it was Daredevil. Daredevil was the last thing I like binge watched. No, it was Archer. Archer was the last thing I binge watched. So it's like it's kind of like no, I'm not gonna do this. But like it's just like it's nice to think about, and it's nice to like me and Mark just had that connection that we just remember shit. Like, oh, you remember Reese, that big tall motherfucker in Raven's Flock? Yeah, I remember that guy. And then Goldberg like did a jackhammer to him. Like, yeah, that was awesome because like he was the first tall guy that he did it, and he did it with a giant, and he did it with one arm, because that was cool, and just memories like that, and we just like laugh and joke, and Katie's just like but it's funny. it's a funny thing to just talk
The
about.
person who doesn't like that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's an interesting thing. It's like when we talk Kingdom Hearts and like that. It's just like we just talk foreign language and she doesn't understand.
yeah.
And like it's weird too because like like when it comes to like, the Disney shit too, me and Katie gets on that level. So it's like it's funny that like I had this thing with Mark and I had this thing with Katie. It's just like we just have these deep cuts that we both just get, and then like the other person in the room is just like just sitting there just dreading our dumbness that's coming out of our mouth. But it's fun. It's great. And another thing that happened this week, my other best friend Tony, he just moved back here, just like out of the blue.
Yes, I did.
Oh, nice.
He just moved.
Cool, Tony. It's all right. We know.
Yeah, we met him.
Okay. Yeah, he just moved back here out of the blue. Like, he brought his daughter, and like he's like, hey, I'm here now. Like, buying me a place to stay. I mean, he has personal reasons why he moved, but like
He was in what, Chicago?
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been interesting hanging out with him again because like and I know I said the great interesting, but go with me with this.
Okay.
Like it's been interesting because like Tony definitely represents something of my past and stuff like like when I'm with Tony, it's like I remember like I remember like I remember the smell of cigarettes and marijuana. Not that I ever done it, but it's more like I'm always around him and his group of friends because like I'm with him all the time because he's my best friend. And it's like I remember this smell like distinctly. I remember just getting this smell on my clothes and having to wash that off because that's what I have to deal with when I hang out with him. But it's not like it's a detriment. It's like it's just a thing. And like it's something I'm so used to that like, I don't even really think about it anymore. And I think about like I think about police, and I think about like other all these like random stuff that I haven't thought about in a while. Tony's not a bad guy. He's just just like he worked really hard for where he's at right now, and like I'm proud of him for that too, because like he's been studying like really hard for like the past like 2 years now, and like he's getting a construction job. Like he already got one signed up pretty close by. Hopefully it'll be close by so he can like maintain his daughter at the same time. But like this has just been great just being with him again. We really haven't hung out in probably like 7 years really. It's been that long since he moved to Chicago. Then he came back, and when he came back I was in Maryland, and then like when Mark and Katie had their wedding, I was back and we hung out for like maybe like 2 days, and then like I went back up to Maryland again. Then when I moved back, he moved back to Chicago. So it was like we haven't really connected since then. And so like now he's here and he's just back and he's like, here I am, just take me for what I am. And I'm like, sure. And like my hand's out here and I'm hug you, bro. But like, we still gotta catch up and everything. Like it's been a while, but like it's been good catching up with him. he and and kind of like a reference to last week, like he's kind of the guy that like the guy who's like,
Oh, he's your guy. Yeah.
yeah, he's my guy. So like that's an interesting thing
That's
that I have to
good.
think about like in the next few days or so. So
What a weird turn of events.
yeah, that is weird. Um, so yeah, it's just
That's
it's,
awesome.
yeah, it's gonna be something like because now I have to juggle my friends again. So it's usually just Mark and Katie, that are my friends, and now I like have to juggle this group of friends with my other group of friends. Not that I couldn't bring them together, but I'm not because that doesn't just seem right. That group doesn't fit with this other group type of thing. So
Yeah. Different people, different strokes, different folks. The sense of smell, I was told at one point in my life, I don't know by who, but the sense of smell is linked to a lot of nostalgia. Like above all of our other senses, that one specifically is more likely to make us feel nostalgic. So anytime like I smell honeysuckle, I think of like when I was a kid and I would run around in like my backyard, like when I lived in my old house, like when I was like 5 or 6. So I understand what you're talking about. I know exactly what that feels like. So just wanted to add that. I didn't want to interject, but yeah, that's good. That's cool that you're gonna have it's like being young again. It's a refresher. Now you guys can go on the town, just fucking tear it up.
Tear it up.
Tear up the town. Now, Jarrett, we just gotta get you to move in with Tony, our Tony, not cool Tony.
Yeah, the one that sucks.
I can't even imagine living with Tony.
That's an option. He did it.
barely.
Barely.
I'd just be hearing the strangest fucking rhythm games happening like behind the door.
And like you're like terrified to open the door. You go to open it. It's just Tony.
It's all dark and there's like a fog machine going.
No, it's just Tony sitting in a bathtub. You're like, wait, I just heard a rhythm game. You're like, yeah, you did. Tony, how's life been for you, man?
Let's be fair. Scott's the one who's actually lived in a small room with me for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like.
Basically,
I mean, it's happened before, Tony.
Yeah, it was just Scott taking care of me when I was drunk and me telling Scott to do stuff all the time.
I can't imagine living to anyone in that kind of proximity. Like, I would go crazy.
Bad. We had fun.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are really compatible.
Aw.
Yeah, pretty cute.
It's pretty cute. We all know it. We've been through this. Tony, how's life for you, man?
It's good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Why? Is that a surprise?
No, I'm just kidding.
Let's see. The beginning of this week was pretty boring. I didn't do all that much. However, later on this week, we hung out.
We hung out a lot. We saw each other a lot.
Yeah. I saw you at work. We had a break together. It was cute. We went and got coffee.
Yeah, it's true. We held hands across the table in Panera.
Yep.
Staring into each other's eyes.
There was an old lady who kept looking at us from the side.
Yeah. I think she was racist.
Probably. These whites. After that, we recorded a Let's Play. That was cool.
We recorded many Let's Plays.
We recorded a lot of Let's Play. And then I saw a spider today.
Was it like a scary spider?
It was underneath a towel when I tried to dry myself.
That's the worst.
So I did not use that towel.
Yeah.
Because why would you?
And then you burned the house down.
Because I burned my house down. And so now I'm here, hanging out with these guys who I tolerate. You know.
Okay.
And Jarrett. Jarrett's cool.
Okay.
Haha.
I mean, sure.
I made a pretty sick pun.
Yeah, you did. It was what's the
talk
sitch? And then
I'm not going to talk about it.
You posted a picture of Stitch. You don't have to talk about it. I'll tell everybody about it. I should take a snapshot of that like conversation in our group thread and make that the cover art for this week. as our cover arts deteriorate to become literally the worst things.
So
that
you're
have
just
ever
giving
been.
up on that, huh?
Make sure you include that
It's
text
pretty
that I
obvious that
sent
he did.
about how Scott and Navashin were both harassing you and I didn't.
I
'Cause I feel like-
listen. I've been trying really hard with the cover art so far this year. And sure, there are some weeks where I'm like, it is 3:00 in the morning. I just finished exporting the
I like how you
podcast.
completely ignored you, Tom.
I know, right?
Well, yeah, because that shit wasn't important. But I'm just saying. No, continue. Tim.
Why didn't you tell him the name though?
Whatever.
All you had to do is say, "Hey, I'm Alex," right before you ask them if you could take a picture.
Yeah, I could have. I could have done a lot of things, Scott.
It's too late for that.
It is too late.
Most of it you're thinking probably illegal.
It's definitely illegal. Whew.
How was MagFest for you, Jarrett?
It was way more chaotic this time than it has been in the past. I don't really know why, because I did way less.
There was a lot of shit going on.
But there was like a
only
lot of
one
shit
night.
just everywhere.
Yeah, I showed up, found Jarrett, and then there was an open bar.
Yeah. Suddenly. Screen Wave, I think. It's like a production company for YouTubers. They threw an open bar and made it like a networking meet and greet thing. And a friend of mine, she was invited by someone, so me and my friend Brian followed her to tag along and be leeches.
Mm-hmm.
But no one was asking too many questions, and at least I had enough cover where I was like, yeah, I work in the industry. So like I can just throw that around. Brian was just literally there eating free food and getting free
Hashtag
drinks.
I work in the industry.
Yeah.
I met Daniel Starkey, freelancer extraordinaire.
Oh,
He was there.
I am sad that I didn't see him.
I literally like bumped into him there. I had no idea he was, was going to be at MagFest. Well, I knew he was going to be at MagFest, but I didn't know when and where. Or we didn't plan to meet at any point.
Yeah, Lucas White was there as well, I think.
I think so.
And I didn't see him. Although again, I was only there for the one night, so.
Right, and you guys went and saw Intersex Party, and I was like, I guess I'll go out there to go do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get there at 10, so
Yeah,
there was a huge line,
fill up.
and they wouldn't even let us in.
Yeah.
They reached capacity, and I was like, well, fuck that then.
Yeah, and then we hung out afterwards, and then we met them. So.
I went and drank somewhere.
It was a great night for me. Like, I don't know.
Oh no, I made it work. It just wasn't going to be a Intersex Party.
Yeah. I'm sorry you missed it. That was an awesome show. I don't know if you're into their music.
I mean, I wasn't necessarily, but I know plenty of people who were going. It's like, I can go hang out. And then someone told me I can't go hang out. And I was like, well, fuck that then.
I'm sorry. At least I got to see you. Like,
Yes.
That's really what I wanted. So,
Yeah, that's what you paid the mission for, and parking.
Yeah. It was for the hugs. It was for to be fair, my friend Chris bought me food, so there was one thing I didn't pay for.
That is true. That was a good move.
We got Peri Peri.
Good guy,
That's
Chris.
good stuff.
It was
Nando's?
Peri good.
That was shitty.
I know. That's good. MagFest seemed like I would have loved to spend more time there, but I just didn't have the chance. It was a busy weekend for me, and I
Got a whole lot of business cards I've got to follow up on. Maybe we should do that this week.
You should. That's always fun. You should come to PAX East also, just by the way.
I believe you.
I say this, but like Tony and I haven't necessarily gotten our approval yet. I'm not too worried about it. But like this could just be real depressing. 1 month from
They
now.
could just
Could
put the
be.
gamache on.
It just all turn into straight up garbage.
Yep, all garbadors and trubbishes. I had a weird week. As it seems to
Okay.
that's always how like my week goes. It's like it was weird. I wrote. I've now written every day for like a year. That sucks. I wrote a little bit about because I have like a whole bunch of stuff that I haven't published, so I wrote a little bit about those things without being too specific, so no one fucking steals my ideas.
Trevor Starkey.
Yeah, fucking animal. He's out there.
He's out there. Fucking animal.
Fucking animal. Just kidding, Trevor. I love you. But yeah, today's 367. I guess I think. Yes, that sounds right.
You're
Sure.
supposed to stop.
Yeah, that would be nice. No, I was like, there was a point like a few days ago where I was like, I could just go to 400, and I know like that's how it's going like the whole time. Across the whole way was like, well, I could just go to 300, or like, well, I could just go to the next round number. I can make that, and then when I get to 300, I'm like, well, I should just go for the year at this point.
Yeah.
And like it's a nice thing. It's as someone like so my I like to talk about depression like it's my gout, like that old people talk about that. Like my gout is really acting
My
up
gout's
this week.
flaring.
Yeah, my gout is flaring this week. My depression's flaring this week. Doesn't sound quite as right. But anyone with depression will tell you that it never kind of goes away. It's just something that kind of lingers in the back of your head forever.
Like a tumor.
Like a tumor, like a good old stress tumor. Um, and so it's been pretty bad these past couple of weeks. Like I've just been in a very weird spot where I've been very emotional, which is par for the course. And I just kind of all over the place. I've felt a lot of negativity about myself. Thank you to everyone who's like been supportive and everything. Like it's been super great.
So
So
like
what
not
you're
me.
saying is this was a bad week to send that shit out there.
What what you said? No, that was fine.
Oh,
That was a funny joke. Again, as someone like I had information that you did that you didn't have of like, oh, I never said my name, so I know this is bullshit. So that I could appreciate that because I had the secret. But no, it was just like a week of like there was seriously on like Monday I was like I'm gonna write through Thursday and then I'm gonna announce that I'm quitting video games because I'm fucking seriously done right now. Like that's where I was at the beginning of this week,
And then you played Omega Quintet.
and then I played Omega Quintet. It like seriously changed my whole life. No, I just like I realized like that was ridiculous.
it happens. We
Yeah,
get that.
I've talked to a lot of people who are like up and coming. And I'm like, you're gonna quit at some point, and you just gotta make yourself come back. So I just nearly had that again. But yeah, like that was, that's kind of where my mind's been at. But I'm like, I'm okay. Like I'm having a good time tonight already. Anytime I talk to you guys, I always feel pretty good. So.
Sorry.
I know. All right, low ball. But yeah, outside of that, it's just like having that every day in my life, like writing is like it's my rock. It's my constant. It's always something.
You're my rock, Alex.
It's always something productive. Thank you. Productive in a day that might not be productive, which none of my days have been productive recently. So I can at least say at the end of every day, well, I did one thing productive. Even if I didn't send a pitch, and I haven't in like a month or like 2 weeks at this point. Or if I didn't talk to this person, or if I didn't follow up, if I didn't edit this, I could say I did something. I just need to start doing more things. But hopefully I can do that after this stress has relieved itself a little bit. But yeah, outside of that, I'm hanging in there. That's what I keep telling people. I'm hanging in there. That's what Tony says at work, apparently.
Yeah, like every single time anyone asks me, how am I? Like, I'm hanging in there. Eventually, someone's going to call me out on it and be like, Are you hanging in there? And I'll be like,
Are you really, Tony? Are you really
no,
hanging?
No, I'm not.
I'm falling. The best part is like coming in and like in September last year, and they're like, "Hey, how are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm fine." Actually, you know what? I've been better. And then they're like, "Oh, what's wrong?" I'm like, "Well, my house blew up last night." Like, "Oh, wait."
You're right. You have been better, probably.
And then like everyone was like, "You shouldn't be here." I'm like, "Actually, if I'm here, that means I'm not going crazy at home."
Yeah, maybe I forgot to tell you that my house blew up. There's really no other place I can be.
Like, where do you want me to go? I don't know if any of you guys are like that as well, but I'm like one of those persons when like some shit happens like that, I need to work because that is like the only time I know I'm doing something outside of like twiddling my thumbs.
100.
Yeah. All right, let's get this show started.
Your mustache really shows in this one.
I know it's really disgusting. Like this isn't a mustache. This is what foulness looks like.
You got that white person chin scruff going on.
I have like the
Oh God, please stop.
17-year-old Mexican.
Please stop.
I'm gonna go get a beer.
You're gonna go grow a beard?
I'm gonna go grow a beard, and then I'll be right back. Okay.
Yeah, I need some liquid. I'll be back.
All right, I'm gonna play some Clash. Scott's like, I'm gonna check my Clash.
Yeah.
So trying to get that level 3. We're still at 49.
Yep. I'm hoping that this next battle I will win, and I will pass into rank 2, Arena 2, and then that'll get me above. Does advancing to the next arena get you points?
No, but then you can get new cards, which would give you points.
Oh. If only I had the gems to open them. Oh well.
So I've got a silver chest coming in 39 minutes, and a free chest coming in 60 minutes, and a Jarrett Green chest coming on my face.
Those kind of chests? That's neat.
Yeah.
Nabshin, I really like the phrase, I need some liquid. I just wanted to let you know.
All right.
I'm way into it. Ooh, all right, I got my blanket on. I got my grandma shawl.
Your blankie?
Yeah, look at this. I got like a grandma blanket.
Oh yeah, you're all wrapped up. Look at you go.
I know.
Suddenly you're an old white lady.
I was always an old white lady. Born into this world old and white and lady.
Check, check, and check.
Check, check, and check. All right, let's get this.
I will be back in a minute and 30 seconds. I need one more refresher.
Okay. You do you.
You should get one of those spray bottles. Just spray some liquid into your mouth every couple seconds. That's what I do to my cat. He doesn't appreciate it.
Just spray yourself on the ear sometimes.
I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to hydrate you.
Dry ear.
Bro, this is for you. That's what we do at Gus. But the liquid we have, the spray bottle we have for Gus is called Gus Repellent. It has a big duct tape on the side.
The problem is my cat will then get irritable, and then when I'm gone, it'll pee on my shit. So.
What's your cat's name?
Hemingway.
Oh, that's right. Hemingway. Is he cute?
He's adorable.
You want to send me a picture of him?
Yeah. I think everybody who has a cat picture somewhere.
Absolutely. I'll send you a picture of Gus to make it good.
Yeah, I realized, I guess I missed Gus the time I was at your house. Was he not there?
Yeah, so when I lived in my apartment before I lived with my brother, I didn't live with Gus, but we just took care of him every other month.
Right.
So, yes, you missed him, unfortunately. He's still the best, though. This is a good picture of me, I guess.
There's a pretty good picture of me and you on the twits.
Yeah, there is a really good picture of Tony.
The best part about that picture is that it was. I totally did not know you were taking a picture. Alex, did you see that? Did you see that video of our shirt?
Yes.
That Christian made?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
I'm gonna bring it up on the show.
It's fantastic.
It's amazing. That dude is my favorite.
Okay. Like I said, I'm making the preface. Like, this is like somewhat last minute. It's probably gonna be bad. I don't know how you can finish it, but
all right,
we'll see what happens.
You call it when you want to call it, but we're supporting you all the way to the end. Know that.
Yeah, we're in, bro.
All right, everyone got your Audacities ready? Jared, are you recording from the right audio device?
Yes.
Okay. Should you do a test recording? I don't know what that meant.
That means yes, I'm recording from the right audio.
Okay, I'm just making sure. So I know you got a new microphone now. You're all fancy like the rest of us. I just want to make sure
It's all good.
Okay. Hey. Everybody ready?
God damn it.
No.
Okay, well tell me when
But
you are
I
ready.
do have all the stuff open that I need to have open. I'm just not ready.
Not emotionally ready?
I never was.
Scott, you ready?
I thought it would like eventually happen, but it's been almost 6 years and still no.
Still nothing.
It's been almost 6 years
hold
and I
on,
still
let
don't
me-
feel anything. Oh my god.
Right microphone is the right one.
Aw. He's adorable.
We're good.
Cool. On 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Haha.
I was on Comics and Joysticks, and they like someone records the video version from Skype in OBS. That's what that program's called. And like they just all start recording whenever, and then they do like claps. I'm like, this is a mess. That's not. That's
What kind of savages are you?
This is not. That's not what I thought. I was just like, this is the weirdest thing. Like, this is the weirdest sync I've ever done. Because I guess they sync everything together, and then he exports the video, and then he rips the audio from the video. So, but whatever works. I still love you, Sean, wherever you are, out there. Let's do this. It is Saturday, March 12th, 2016, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions podcast. I'm Alex O'Neill. And strap in, because this is gonna be a good one. With me, I have Scott Guthier,
Hello.
Tony Horvath.
I mean, all right.
And in the red corner, we have Brian Nabashin Jackson.
Ooh, yeah! You young punks ain't got nothing on the Napo man Brian Jackson and my generation, yeah! And the legends, yeah! Because I'm telling you that the complete mental insanity, yeah! Let the IPP All-Stars video game begin, yeah! The best of the best, and to hell with the rest! Pick the Napo man Brian Jackson if you will, yeah! I guarantee you, you will be victorious forever in a day, yeah, you will, because I am the greatest world wrestling podcaster legend of all time! Of all time! Of all time! Ooh, yeah! Catch me if you can, IPP All-Stars video game, because you ain't seen nothing yet. Because I am the Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour, fucking like a monkey. Space. Okay, shit. See, I lost it. It's done.
It's done. That was like way better than I could have hoped, though.
I had like 2 more paragraphs, but I'm done.
And in the blue corner, we have.
Can we have the last 2 paragraphs, please, real quick?
Okay, hold on.
All right, no, you have to wait now. Okay.
No,
I'm
just
sorry.
run it back. Let him have it.
All right,
It's there. He's already there.
Okay.
All right. Of all time. Ooh, yeah. Catch me if you can, IPP All-Stars video game, because you ain't seen nothing yet. Because I am the Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour, funky like a monkey. Space is the place, sky's the limit, yeah, that's the deal. The greatest matchup of all time hasn't happened yet. No, they haven't until now. It's up to the IPP universe to take control of the title situation. You guys decide who's the baddest generation of all time, yeah. 2 generations, 1 ring, yeah. Hit up IPPAllstars.com right now and take control. Everybody say, ooh, yeah. And that's it.
Ooh, yeah. I said it. Did I win? Do you want me to cut that together so it's perfect?
If you want to.
Okay. And in the blue corner, weighing in at 159 pounds, we have Jarrett Green.
I'm like at least 30 pounds bigger than that.
Okay.
I'm just wanting to set the record straight.
Okay.
We're out here just saying lies and shit.
I didn't know you would take offense to that. I was just trying to.
I don't know. I try to be offended like sporadically,
Sporadically throughout your life.
so that people know I'm actually alive.
You're an angry man. It's true. I've met you.
It's not angry so much as just sweaty.
That's true. So
It's
what
not-
do you got for us, Jared?
I mean, I don't have a promo.
You don't
I'm
have
not
a
gonna Macho
promo.
Man you.
That's fine. Typically,
But-
you bring some kind of education.
Well, I'm going to bring you 2. Since Macho Man Randy Savage just happened, it reminded me of, there was a gimmick in a rival company of the WWE called Total Nonstop Action Wrestling.
TNA.
It was a spin-off of an old NWA property that wasn't bought up by Vince McMahon. In it, a lot of it became a shore for like broken down, washed up WWFE superstars to go to, and be big fish in small ponds, if you will. One such man was Kevin Nash, who is a legitimately hilarious person. He was on the writing team and would put together vignettes and promos with the local talent to try to make their lives more professional. Try to bring their characters out a little bit more, and that became like a kayfabe, like real life thing he was trying to do in the background, but it made it a story in the actual TNA like universe. Mm-hmm. For one such man, he did a guy named Jay Lethal, who was an incredible athlete but had no character, and that bothered Kevin Nash a lot. So he would have him come and audition for him like every episode to do something else, to try to find his talents. One was like trying to juggle. One was like trying to like memorize the capitals of like cities or something. Whatever worked, and all of it was terrible. Until he asked him to do an impression of Macho Man Randy Savage, which he had on lock. So Kevin Nash decided this is perfect. So they made Jay Lethal into Macho Man Randy Savage. And that was Jay Lethal's gimmick there. He was the black machismo, Jay Lethal, but was just a black Macho Man Randy Savage. And it was pretty much perfect.
Okay.
And that brought me back to the black machismo.
Okay. I like it. Always bringing a hot wrestling informative reference of some sort. Anytime. This is your 10th appearance on Irrational Passions podcast, Jarrett.
It is. Not counting call-ins for like your annual shows or whatever.
Well, congrats.
I wasn't counting those anyway.
You might be our most frequented guest, other than Evan.
Probably. Probably not Justin. I imagine.
Other than Brian Jackson.
I don't know if Justin's hit 10 yet.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
I figured if he just said Danganronpa 3 times, he would just show up in your podcast.
That's true. So
no, he shows up. He shows up for our Game of the Year deliberations if he does that.
Yeah. Just give him the wrong date on that so he doesn't show up.
Where he'll sit in the corner and just like try and interject every 10 minutes.
Whisper Danganronpa into our ears.
Like, Tony, you better vote for Danganronpa.
Justin's gonna be here next week, so I guess he'll be on the show next week, presumably. So I'll tell him you said that.
I'm telling him.
I can't imagine a more perfect guest to join us on episode 269. I asked Twitter what was better than 169, and the answer is Jarrett Green.
Did Twitter answer, or did you just answer for Twitter?
No, I'm pretty sure
tweeted,
the only
therefore
answer.
Twitter answered.
Oh. Yeah.
There you go.
We've got a pretty good show lined up for you all, as per usual. I'll have you know. We got some housekeeping to catch up with. Video games happened. A bunch of news happened. Seems like we're getting kind of like a little bit of hot news as the quarter ends. There's some business news. Some hot biz. And you added some news too, Jarrett, which I appreciate.
I saw your news and I was like, this isn't even news. I know there's no Amiibos or some Kingdom Hearts news, but there are other things happen in the fucking game industry.
Like, listen, I started it and then like I got busy in the middle of the week and then you added the rest, so like what do you want from me?
It's okay. I'll do your job. Don't worry about it.
I love you. You know that. We also have some multiple voicemails again. Apparently the series of Tony calling out other people
I already know who I'm calling out this week.
Has sowed some seeds. I have not listened at all to the voicemail that this person in question has sent in, so I mean,
they know, right? They listened to last week.
Yeah, I reminded them. I was like, hey, listen. And then they were like, oh, you have no idea what you have wrought. So I'm excited for that. So let's get right into it. Housekeeping. First things first, our shirts went out. People got them. Tony got his, so I could see it in person. Came out way better than I thought it was going to be. I had a nightmare this week that people got their shirts and they were all fucked up and misprinted. and then like they were all pissed off, and there was nothing I could do. That was a legitimate thing that stressed me out this week.
This shirt's some bullshit. God damn it, Alex O'Neill.
Because like, what will we do? We can't like give them their money back. I don't know. Like, we went through Teespring. I would just start paying out the money, being like, "I'm sorry. What do you want?" And then yeah, it was a really fucked up nightmare. Okay, I lost sleep because of this. But they came out great, and we had a bunch of.
Yeah, they're mediocre at best.
Wow. We had a bunch of lovely, beautiful people tweeting at us wearing the shirts. Especially some real sexy pictures from Cameron Abbott.
You want to do me a favor and like spell out Scott's Twitter since no one added it to him?
Someone did.
Really?
One person added at Scott.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple people do. I get tweets from other people as well.
I mean, like from the majority, from what I've seen, like
well, yeah, but I mean, like I don't.
I'm like, oh, come on.
I don't tweet though.
Sure,
so,
but you can
see
like, them.
So
I'll see them anyway most of the time.
Long-time listener Christian Puente at Pixel Brave, one of my favorite people. I've met Christian. He's a very nice gentleman. He's also like a videographer, and he's just a great video producer. In all my experience, he fucking made a video of him unbagging one of our shirts, and kind of like taking it out. And he cut it together like he cuts together like his meet and greet videos. If you've ever seen them, they're great. You should go check them out. But yeah, it's 30 seconds long. It's fucking amazing. Like, I was so happy. Like, I did not expect him to do that. So that is on our Twitter feed. I quoted the tweet and retweeted it and everything. Or I think Nabish and you retweeted it. I quoted it out. So
that was me.
Oh, that was you, Tony? I didn't even know you had access to this Twitter account. So.
I had it on my tweet deck.
I don't even know why you're on the show.
That's not true.
Yeah, no, he knows that it's my fault.
But yeah, that's great. And he tweeted Scott with that. So.
Yep.
Oh.
I assume you watched it, Scott.
Yeah, I did watch it.
That's so good. Fucking, I love you, Christian. You're the best. It's funny because like he was like, I saw him on Snapchat, the hot kids with the Snapchat, putting together his demo reel this week, and I tweeted him, I'm like, hey man, that looks awesome. Like, good job. And he's like, I'm listening to Irrational Fashions podcast right now while I'm editing this. Like, that's so cool. So, and then, yeah, a couple other people, Damien, who's another person I've met at Damien Soar. Not the Damien I often reference on this show, but still a great Damien nonetheless. Barrett, Courtney, Alex Van Aken, Justin, Jarrett. Finally something you can bait in.
Yeah.
I believe was the direct quote.
It's actually, the shirt's actually nearby.
Yeah. I mean, you got to keep your jizz rag nearby.
Right. I mean, we got breaks, right?
And Harold tweeted out, and of course Cameron Abbott tweeted some real sexy pictures of him in it. But if you'd like to tweet Scott as well, and you don't know his Twitter handle, it is at Wuttechuz, WUTTEHCHUZ. And I'm sure he would appreciate it as well. That's the coolest thing. I never thought we would get to the point where people would actually want to buy our hot garbage. So it's a really cool thing. And I'm going to see some of those people soon. So I'm excited about it. So anyway, other housekeeping. I've written for a year, which is cool. You can see me write about it. alexloneal.tumblr.com. Some more stuff planning on going up on the website. If I keep dogging Tony, maybe he'll write something else. And I also have a piece that I'm going to publish.
All right, whoa. You didn't tell me to write in the first place.
Hey, bub, you should write. I want to read this hyperdimension. I want to read a piece about hyperdimension, mega dimension.
I'll figure something out. Maybe.
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
I know.
Those games are terrible. Don't do it.
You should write about Monster Mon piece after that.
It's been a long time since I played Monster Mon piece.
Yeah, let's not take this too far.
Yeah, it's true. I wrote an article about my favorite tragedies in video games. I wrote it on my 200th day, and it was right after my house blew up. So you could tell.
So
what
you
state
were
I was in.
rightly inspired.
Yeah, and I'm gonna publish that this week, I think, because that was something I was going to put out, but I just never got around to editing it. So that'll be up, and maybe some other stuff. We'll see. How's that monthly passions coming around, Jarrett?
I'm looking around for audio stuff. Like, I was on freemp3s.com yesterday looking for like audio intros and shit.
Oh, that's
Yep.
good stuff.
I've been there.
Did you listen to the Irrational Passions Turbo Edition?
Yeah, that was a good one. I was proud of that.
That.
Yeah, it's that was a real sexy turbo episode. Let's talk about video games. How's that sound?
Nah.
All right. Jarrett, you and I played The Division. I assume you played The Division. I actually don't know if you played The Division.
I didn't buy it, but I was witness to someone else playing it.
You bared witness?
Yeah, witness.
That's sad, because I'd like to play with you.
Yeah, it's something that is on the list. I just don't know when that's going to happen.
Okay.
I wanted to see what reviews will say first. I really don't want to get myself in another Destiny situation.
Okay, fair enough. Although we've had fun with Destiny.
We have, but like that was also a year and a half later.
Fair enough. Also fair. Well, I can talk a little bit about The Division.
I think you should.
Okay. I didn't hear what you said, Nemerton. Sorry.
Oh, I said, why didn't you do that, Alex?
What, wait?
Yeah.
This was like, well, one, being the person that I am, I would much rather be in the front lines of discovering if a video game is good or bad than wait. And I think that just comes from I'm a reviewer at heart type thing of like, I'd like to be the person that tells someone if this is good or bad. I like to take that bullet, quote unquote, take that bullet. You will almost never see me wait to see if a game is good. There are things that fall kind of out of my immediate radius of interest that I'll wait on.
Okay, then the question is, this is probably more of what I wanted to say is like, what's the difference between The Division more than it was Destiny, or at least from the betas, I should say.
So like, I talked a lot about it when we played the alpha and beta of Destiny back in 2014, which is crazy to think it was almost 2 years ago. But that was a thing of like, I very clearly got the impression from the way the interface was laid out, the way everything was laid out, like this is kind of it. Whereas from The Division, a lot of stuff, like you would go through menus in your characters, like character sheet and all that stuff, and it would be like not available in beta, and it would be like full pages of stats or perks or unlocks or abilities that you just can't even see because it says not available in beta, as well as like systems like the crafting system, which is unavailable. So it felt like, okay, here's a bunch of stuff that I can't even see in the beta, and all of that stuff, just going off of the little that I've seen of it, seems substantial, right? It was a part of that where it's like, okay, it seems like there's a lot more, and playing the game, like the loop of the game, and kind of like you can zoom out and see what the whole map looks like. It's huge, but it seemed like that it'd be very easy to populate that with stuff to do, and they had already kind of like laid out hints of things that they'll populate with it. It was just the way it was presented seemed like, hey, we're showing you a bunch of stuff and telling you, hey, all this and more will be available to you when it comes out, as opposed to Destiny, which it felt kind of like Cloak and Dagger of like, what do you think of this stuff? And it's like, well, what else is there? It's like, well, but what do you think of this stuff? And kind of like avoiding,
what do you think?
Yeah, what are you buying? It was like avoiding showing more, not because like they didn't want to show you, but because there wasn't much else.
Sure.
Which I guess go hand in hand. So The Division kind of gave a more confident impression. I guess you could say that. I don't know how it came off to you, Jarrett, if it came off in a similar way.
I don't know. It kind of gave me the same impression. And I think that's because I didn't play a lot of the single player. I kind of just went straight into the dark zone when I played the beta. Mm-hmm. But you pretty much know what you'll be doing most of the time in that game. which is hiding behind cover and shooting things.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's not a bad thing. It's just I don't know that the Division is going to do something so out of the realm of that sphere they've kind of, displayed in the beta that I think they just kind of like how Destiny was still just kind of a first-person shooter that you walk into some rooms and dudes show up and you kill them, and then you grind for loot and that's kind of your thing. I don't know that the Division is going to do anything all that different in that regard. Where Destiny failed was the content up front was pretty shallow, and it never really came out with any regularity, and the design of the actual encounters wasn't all that interesting. So yes, you can boil down any game into like that one thing you do all the time. You can be as reductive as you want about a first-person shooter or a third-person shooter. But where Destiny failed, and where I'm not sure the Division is going to do anything much better, is that they kept sort of repeating the same encounter every encounter.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, I guess the difference now becomes how interested are you in doing similar things in this game as opposed to Destiny.
Yeah. So I've played maybe 6 hours of The Division. Not as much as I kind of wanted to. I got it like late Wednesday night. And I kind of already started down a different rabbit hole the night before that. So I can't speak too much to it. I'll say like, kind of I've played past the point where the beta ended, and I've seen a little bit past that. There's also like an intro area in Brooklyn that was basically what you skipped in the beta, and you went right to like being level 4 in Midtown Manhattan, and like now this is where the shit gets real. I guess. So you get to play through the intro. There was definitely like there's an area where you have to like go turn in a quest, I guess, or something like that, and because of player collision, you'd have to wait in line to do it. That's a thing that happened. I never experienced that again because I was like the day after, pretty much. So I just went up and turned it in and went on with my merry way. So it seems like that was just very much a problem with Tuesday waiting in line simulator. But I don't know. That was weird. That was real funny though. But getting
I think stuff like that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. Like, I thought it was super funny. Like so many people were super pissed about it, but like I don't know.
I can't move through people.
Yeah,
it's funny that Ubisoft keeps having these situations.
Yeah,
like it happened to a small percentage of people, but it becomes the story for this game now.
Yeah, it's super.
But weird. I mean, like it's what is this issue caused by? It's not like the issue of how GTA came out and its online was broken. Mm-hmm. Not broken as in completely didn't work. Broken as in why are there cars in the air flipping around the street?
Yeah.
Kind of broken. It's not that. This is a way of how fundamentally games should work. Mm-hmm. But there's just so much raw traffic for this one small area. It's more of a fault of design.
Yeah.
That I'm just sitting here literally because I can't move.
And like the player collision stuff, like there were people like doing jumping jacks in doorways so people couldn't get out of buildings, and that sucks. But it's something that they sorted out on a pretty quick basis, like in a day or two turnover. So take it as what you will. But getting out like. It was as soon as you kind of establish your home base, which is something you did in the beta, and like all right, it's like okay, here you go. It very much became like, not necessarily, but for lack of comparison, a Ubisoft open world game of like, wow, there's like a whole bunch of stuff to do, and I like it because the Division doesn't really stop you from going anywhere, right? It's kind of it's structured like an MMO. So like
there's just places that you might not want to be yet.
Yeah, so like you hover if you go in the map, there are different sections or boroughs or groups of areas in New York that you hover over and it says like level 19 to 23 or something like that. So I could go to Dark Zone 07 or Dark Zone 06, whatever the hardest Dark Zone is, but like the NPC enemies in that Dark Zone are going to be like level 30 or whatever. They're gonna destroy me. I could go to the top right corner where like the hardest enemies in the game are, but again, they're level 30 and I won't be able to do anything. So like I said, it's like an MMO. So I like that. So the mission, you do the first mission in each of like the branches of your base. There's security, tech, and medical, and then it populates all the rest of the missions in the game, right? So all the story missions are now on the map available for me to do, and I can do them whatever order. You just kind of they're kind of, I don't know if they're necessarily driven by a story, like there's a continuation from each of them, but they're spaced throughout the entire map. So like there's one in the level 27 to 30 area of the map that I just can't do yet because I'm not high enough level, and the enemies would destroy me. So the way it's structured is different than any kind of Ubisoft game I've played before, and I think that's cool. And you can kind of go anywhere on the map and find a safe house, which I guess is their equivalent of towers, but you just walk in the safe house to add it to your map. And then there's a situation board there that you can check, and it'll populate that area of the map with side quests. It's like, okay, this is a cool system, and like those will update as you do more side quests. More will populate on the situation boards. So it's not just you get them all at once and then you're set. Like you should go back there every now and again and check on them. So the way it's all structured and laid out, I really like. I like, and as I said before, I love the UI. Like, I love the presentation of this game. I love the way it looks and feels. The way the skill tree kind of lays out is really cool. You upgrade your base to upgrade your skills and unlock new perks and abilities. So, like, leveling is kind of more of, like, gating your progress to new areas, to new gear, and that's about it. But, and I saw, like, Sean Pitts was tweeting, like, it seems like leveling is kind of pointless in this game. And it is as pointless as it is in Destiny, where, like, the only reason you level up is so you can equip better gear, right?
That's how it is in a lot of MMOs, and it's kind of how the way that it has to work.
Yeah, like, and the gear can then, at some point, always get better. So when you hit max level, like, that's not necessarily the end of the road. It just means you're focusing on different things.
Though in the traditional MMO, your stats do also go up when you level up. Mm-hmm. So if you are butt naked, a level 60 will beat a level 1 every time.
Yeah. But yeah, like, it's not like that here. There's no like strict stats tied to your level. So, I don't know. Like, I really like it. Like, everything about the way it presents itself to me, the player, I dig. Part of like walking around the city feels like a survival game, like I kind of said when I played that.
Following those straight lines on the augmented reality HUD.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude.
But like, I'm going around, I find a random building off to the side that I can go in. Some buildings you can, some you can't. And like, I find like a fucking candy bar in a bag in a building.
Delicious.
And I can give it to somebody and get experience for that, or I could eat it later and it'll like recover health over time. So like, I don't know. I just really like how it's laid out. I'll say, like, some people were talking about kind of like the narrative structure of The Division, which is just like it is really the dumbest thing that is ever, like, just like someone injected a $20 bill with the flu and then it was Black Friday. And then everyone got sick, of course, and then and like, it's just like a leap of logic, right? It's just like you see this the opening scene is like this $20 bill and like someone with a syringe pouring black liquid onto it, and then it cuts to it's Black Friday and the sales are crazy, and then everyone's dead. It's just like a super quick jump. And now, like, you've been activated. You're like some fucking sleeper cell American agent of The Division, and someone's like, you gotta abandon your family now and come hang out. And they're like, okay, it's a good thing I never got attached to anything, but we're gonna reintroduce that theme a little bit later on. And then, like, yeah, you're just running around killing riders who just like dudes in hoods, and then there are people with flamethrowers for some reason. And
is there ever like any more reason for them to be there other than like, oh, we are the trash of humanity, like we're just criminals, and since we're all criminals, we love each other?
There are different
because that's how that works.
Apparently, and that's how it works.
There are allusions to certain groups, because there are different groups of enemies that you'll fight.
Sure.
Them
but
being
all of them
organized
like each other.
I don't know, because I've never seen like a rioter in the same room as like one of the cleaners, the guys with the flamethrowers.
Sure.
So I don't know. Maybe like if they saw each other, they would fight each other. That'd be cool.
But the flamer would probably win. He's got fire.
He's got like a flamethrower.
Yeah.
In
That's
a
pretty
city.
fucked up.
But you know it's not bulletproof? Fire.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what can't melt steel beams?
Apparently. So yeah, I don't know. I like the Division a lot. It's always left a really good first impression to me visually, and playing it did the same. And I don't know. It's really compelling for me. Like I haven't actually gotten the chance to play with anybody, which is sad. Jacob texted me earlier today, but I was taking a nap, so I sent him a message saying that I loved him and that I was sorry. But hopefully, I'll get to play. Like I'll say, like content-wise, doesn't seem like that's gonna be an issue at all. Having only dabbled in the Dark Zone, like that seems like a gift that keeps on giving in its own special way. So I don't know. I really like it.
Sure.
It makes me feel like it's very impressive. So I'm going to play more of it. I've been playing in pretty short spurts, like just kind of going around the map, picking up a couple of side quests, and not taking it too seriously, not like digging in too deep. And that's been a fun way to play it so far. Hopefully, I'll find some people and we can really dig in. But yeah,
Get all up in that dark zone.
yes. Although
Alex O'Neill trying to get in their dark zone.
that's my campaign
gross.
slogan. Although like the first Dark Zone is like level 10 to 12, so I'm not quite there yet. I'm like level 8, so. Any other questions?
Oh, we're good.
Okay. I played some other stuff, if you want to hear about them real quick. I don't know why I wrote Silver PR here when I meant to write Street Fighter 5. So, well, I know why, but I played a little Street Fighter 5 with Tony.
Yeah.
That was a bad idea, Tony, because now I really want to play Street Fighter 5.
I mean, all you have to do is like text me and be like, "Bro, I need to street fight."
Yeah, it is.
You don't even need to say what game to play. You'll see like, bro.
Bro.
You know.
Bro, I need it. I need it.
Yeah, I feel like you'll get the wrong impression if I do that.
I don't think so. I think as a person who also has those tendencies to just like play a fighting game for a long time, I get you. You
Like,
just want to devour hour everyone.
because and I'm sure anyone can vouch for this. Like, I only ever played Street Fighter 5 at a convention, standing up at like one of those like 2 arcade sticks tied together type things with some guy that was way better than me. And Tony's way better than me, but playing at home with my own fight stick, which works, which was good. That was a good revelation. And like just sitting back and like being able to dick around a little bit was really nice. Like it was cool to get back in the rhythm of it, and just be able to pick it up and be like, oh yeah, I remember how Street Fighter plays, and it feels really good to throw a fireball. And it was cool. Like I for some odd reason, maybe it's just the break that I've had between. I felt like I was pulling off moves a little bit easier, and all the characters seem really cool. So I just really want to play more of it, but. It is a thing of like I still really want to wait for this March update because it's not a game yet.
Well, I doubt it's going to be any more of a game by March.
That's true. Fair enough, but I just really liked what I played. I played a little bit of everyone new. I think Nash is really cool.
Good old Charlie.
Good old Charlie Nash. He's a cool guy. I played some more Fire Emblem Birthright, but that's neither here nor there. I'm married in that game now. I don't know if I was last time, but my wife is pretty dope and crazy. My wife. And Tony and I played a Mega Quintet, which I think you should experience by watching.
Yeah, don't listen to us. Just go watch that when it goes up.
Holy shit, that game is great. That is a gift that keeps on giving. I
don't believe you.
I actually think that game's all right. Like it was actually kind of fun to play. So, we recorded 11 episodes, and the first one will be out Monday, so the day before this goes up. If you're watching the video version, it'll be up in a couple of days. So, yeah, that game's all right. It's pretty. It's got a lot of prettiness to it.
Jesus.
But that's it. That's all that I've really been playing. Scott, have you been playing anything?
Nothing really noteworthy. Haven't made any notable progress on the Binding of Isaac. Yes, no, I still still haven't beat the game with the blue baby.
Okay.
Other than that, like the only new game that I've really played, which is, I forgot that Option sent me the Bravely Default demo.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm a bad friend.
you are.
At least you're self-aware, Scott.
I think I have it downloaded, but I just...
You'll get to it. That's what I said about the Monster Hunter demo at the very least.
So if this is
But,
anything like the
hey.
Monster Hunter demo, you're definitely not playing that game.
But I mean,
Yes.
hey, this is a game that I'm going to probably end up buying.
Yeah, probably.
If I remember that it's there.
Yeah. I don't know. Give it a shot. Let us know what you think. The hot
yeah, there's
Scott
that.
perspective.
Like, the only other thing is this phone game that Tony got me to play.
Can we not
It's-
talk about
it's
this
good.
phone game?
I mean, no. We have to talk about this phone game.
Tony made me tap on some chests.
You
Tony,
liked
why? No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
No, you didn't like it.
I mean, I was pretty indifferent to it. Clash Royale, from the makers of Clash of Clans, comes the next microtransaction full game that'll ruin your soul by the end of the week. Winky face.
Basically,
What do you guys want to say?
Scott?
you see, I don't know what I want to say about this game.
There's
I
nothing
mean,
to say.
it seems like they tried not to be gross about it.
It seems like it. You benefit of the doubt, right?
Right, but the problem is that it's not working.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Um,
let's see. How much money has this guy spent on the game?
What, 4,000? Is that the most someone spent on the game? $4,000. Didn't this game come out a week and a half ago?
A couple. I mean, that was its global release. It was available other places before then.
Okay.
And they didn't reset progress or anything, obviously.
Yeah, because if you dropped a hot load of cash on it, that's
Hot cash loads.
I mean, you could always just reimburse the cash amount.
Jarrett, to be fair, your picture on Google Hangouts looks like you're about to drop a hot cash load.
You're probably right, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I just it's like a tower defense-esque game. It's you kind of sending your little creeps out to destroy their towers and then destroy their base. That's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Matches are 3 minutes long. You get chests every hour or some shit.
People are actually saying that game's okay, as a game.
Yeah,
Like, as a game, it's okay.
yeah.
But I mean, it's okay. I might delete it soon.
But that's a big step up from Clash of Clans, which isn't really a game so much as a spreadsheet.
Clash of Clans is more of my nightmare.
Yeah. You see that? It is a big step up from that.
Yeah.
Because I started that game, and then I was like, oh, you know what? I'll just. It's a waiting game. I'll check on it next week, and then I deleted it.
The thing about Clash of Clans is that it's a waiting game where you're building a base, and that part's kind of cool. And then the entire combat thing, I just hated. And then this game, Clash Royale, is also a waiting game, but it's the actual gameplay of it is something that I enjoy. So.
Okay. Fair enough.
I felt that way about there's a Marvel superhero game that's like a fighting game. I don't remember what it was called though. Something Dimension or whatever the fuck. But
sounds right, yeah.
the gameplay isn't, for a mobile fighting game, it's tap for light attacks and hold for heavy attacks, and that's pretty much the depth of it. The alternating between light and heavy becomes where you'll get your combos and how you link into these things, or really where your depth is. And different characters have different attributes or whatever. But the problem with that game is the money-driven power creep is super evident because being better at playing the game and its systems doesn't matter if you've already spent like, you know, whatever amount of money to get their stupid in-game currency to make your fucking particular thing super swole versus my thing who's not super swole. So you hit me 3 times. If I let 3 attacks through, I'm dead. Where I have to hit you like 19 times to do anything about it.
Contest of Champions.
Yes.
Wow. Deep pull.
It compromises itself that way, and it's kind of bullshit.
I played.
Yeah, the way that this kind of balanced itself out is that you don't fight, generally you don't fight people like that, because unless they go ahead and they spend $1,000 like immediately before they do anything.
Like, what the fuck is going on in your life when you just need to drop $1,000 on this fucking mobile game that just came out yesterday? I need to be the best at this motherfucker right now. Like, you can be doing anything with $1,000. You can make yourself better at literally anything. Go outside. If you want to like cook an egg better, $1,000 is going to get you there. You don't have to spend it on Clash of Clans. You can do anything. You can invest it. You can, I don't know, buy a dog.
Well,
yeah,
Yangerman Jensen, so.
Buy a dog.
I don't know.
It did. He was number 1.
Yeah, basically, they essentially just have an MMR in this game. So, you might face off somebody who dumped a lot of money into the game, but soon enough they're going to hit people who've put they're going to hit a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, you can pay to go past that level, but
they'll plateau out and they're just diminishing rewards.
Right. They're just gonna it's just gonna keep plateauing.
Okay.
And eventually you're just gonna hit what you're gonna do is you're just going to be hitting other people who are doing the same thing that you are.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I have nothing truly against it. I just like I wouldn't spend any money on it anyway. My favorite mobile games that I like would actually like to spend money on. Like the only one I think I've spent money on was the Double Fine one with the little superhero manager where you can get the coin doubler, which was fine. Like it was $2, so I
like,
just
the game or the
what the game was free. The coin doubler in the game was $2, and it made it so you really didn't really have to spend any other money on it. So it was like buying the game essentially. Which is like that's the way if you're gonna do microtransactions. Like I like that out where you can spend like between $2 and $5 and then just kind of buy the game outright, and then it just moves at a more reasonable clip.
There's a cool game like that. It's a strategy game called Outwitters. It's turn-based, and it was free to play, but you could buy whenever they up front they're like you can spend $5, and whenever we make any DLC, it's free for you.
Yeah.
Of course, that turned away. They like ended up biting them in the ass because then no one spent any money, and they had all these DLCs out, or they spent the $5 early and they released 4 new armies, and you didn't have to buy any of them. So they're like, oh look, all this content we just gave away for $5.
It's kind of like it kind of reminds me of Han.
Yeah, really. 100%.
I just really wanted to bring up Heroes of Newer. I'll be real with y'all. Anything else, Scott?
No, not really.
An option?
Nothing new.
Okay.
Same shit.
How's Twilight Princess treating you?
I barely played that much more of it.
Okay.
Pretty much got to Kakariko Village, and that's it. So,
okay.
Nowhere. I haven't played in like probably like the last few days.
Okay. I understand. I was in a position.
That game has some really weird pacing.
It does. It's all over the place.
Yeah, all over the place sometimes. It's like, oh, it's real good. Okay, now it's real slow.
Yeah.
Now it's real good again.
Why do I have to collect all these fucking tears of light? Okay, I guess it's over. Wait, I have to fight a giant bug in the water now? Well, I guess. Um,
I just want
They
to
made you.
quickly.
They made you go for a deep pool when they needed the
I
when
just
they
want to
had to do
quickly
the bridge
comment on the
thing.
view of Scott that we are getting right now because it's great.
yeah, Scott has a camera now, so if you want, you can take like a little peek into the video version. You
Yeah,
can
this is
see,
this is what happens when I slouch.
yeah,
It's also modular. Like the scene we're getting is changing, ever changing.
yeah. And like in the background, if the bed frame starts shaking when his alarm goes off, we'll actually be able to see that.
All right, back to chest.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm sitting like a normal person again.
Good, good. I was in a mood this week, and we kind of talked about it in the bonus content, where I had to basically convince myself to do literally anything. Whether that was play a video game, watch a show. But there were times where I was just kind of like laying there, like, well, this is my life now. So, I understand. In other news, Tony,
Hey.
since we're just blaring through this,
Uh-huh.
do you have any video games you've been playing that you want to talk about?
So I played this game called Clash Royale.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think we already talked about that.
we did. Let's talk more.
You were
about
very quiet during that section.
it. So it's this cool card battling tower defense game, and I've been playing it.
Yep.
And I just opened a silver chest.
Here we go.
It had some cards in it. I am now awaiting my free chest to be unlocked in 9 minutes and 40 seconds. And then another 2 hours and 49 minutes. The next silver chest will be opening. So that's my life in Clash Royale so far. I joined the Giant Bomb clan.
Okay.
And we donate cards to each other. It's pretty cute.
Uh-huh.
Let's see.
I'm just gonna let that
man.
one sit out
I don't
there.
know. That's it. The game's cool. Like you can play. It's like a cool tower defense game that you can play in like 2 minutes. So I log into this game and play like 3 rounds a day.
Yeah, I mean it's nice that like the games they're like no longer than 3
Something
minutes.
to
right?
do on my break at work.
Yeah.
You know. So other than that, I played #OQ.
Yeah. Omega
The
Quintet.
Omega Quintet. That series gets real about episode like 8 or 9 when we get into the voices.
Yeah.
we
for
got
better
we got
and for worse.
so into those voices that Alex's roommate sent us a text. She said, "Fucking nerds."
I really liked the part where they made fun of Miss Mimosa for being real old.
Miss Mimosa. You mean like the entire first 6 episodes of that?
That entire game, I have a feeling.
Is just making fun of her for being old.
Old as fuck.
Yeah.
God,
and
please
then I
watch
played-
that.
So I also played some Stardew Valley earlier this week.
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of getting close to like ready to put that game down for a while.
Mhm.
Because I've finished at this point like building out my farm and everything. And I've gone through the major story beats. Like the game technically like is supposed to end after 2 or 3 years. I'm at the end of the 3rd year. And I've basically done everything. Like the extra like thing to do in the game other than just like sandbox a farm and stuff is to collect a bunch of different items and turn them into either you can either collect items and turn them into a community center or pay like the corporation a ton of money. And I went with the community center, so I've actually finished doing all of that. So there's not much left in terms of like driven like I don't want to say narrative because there's not really a narrative there, but driven story stuff for that game. I'm basically through it, so the only thing I'd be doing now is like collecting everything. So I'll probably put it down for a while, then like restart and go with the corporation just to see how that plays out. But that won't be for a while. Stardew Valley is a great game. I got a solid like 65 hours out of that game before I got bored. So
Cool. Yeah, it seems like a real good investment of time too. It seemed like you
sure.
were just enjoying yourself when you were playing it. So
yeah, there's that, and then I've also been kind of like keeping an eye on that. There's this budding like mod community for Stardew, and there's some really interesting looking stuff like adding like like basically how I made all my money on my farm is I make a shit ton of wine. So there are mods that make it so that you need to make different products. Otherwise, like if so, like you're shipping shit tons of one product, obviously the price would go down. So like there's the base that kind of economics modding and other like content stuff that people are modding into the game. It looks really cool. So yeah, Stardew Valley, keep an eye on that. It looks good.
Cool.
Definitely worth taking a look at. But
I think some people who listen to this show might have gotten in on that. So
yes. Also played some Street Fighter V.
Yeah.
With like I played Street Fighter V with like everyone this week. I think I first played with Silver PR, and Battle Lounges were having this weird like thing when we were playing, and neither of us could see anything. Like, it was so bad where like one of us would just stand there, and then like the other person would just jump around and do nothing. So it was mostly me, which is weird because I usually don't have a bad connection. But yeah, it was super weird. But anyway, like Silver was like, "Hey, you've gotten better," and I was like, "Man, how do you know? I was lagging this whole time." So, anyways, I played against Nabishin. We had fun. And I played against Jarrett.
I wouldn't say fun.
But I mean, I know he had fun because he messaged me. He was like, "Hey, bro, this is fun."
Did you really say this?
It wasn't
Yes.
those exact words, but he did say this is fun. So
Yes.
I am witness to Nabishin enjoying a video game this
Wow.
week.
I'm still like Pokemon Yellow.
Yeah, dude. Come on, man. Don't judge. How
I also
is
played Bloodborne this week.
how was that?
Eh.
You've been playing Bloodborne. That's something that we haven't really talked about in the show. It's worth noting. Yeah, that's fine. Fair enough. Jarrett, how is it to play Tony in Street Fighter?
I mean, it seems fine.
Seemed like a good idea.
Seemed like a fine idea. He was way closer the second time we played. I think he actually beat me in 3-2 sets, I think. But I was playing Bison, and
Oh, so you were cheating.
no, I just didn't know what I was doing.
witnessed Bison's basic attacks.
I mean, Bison's normals are the best normals in the game, and they usually are in Street Fighter. Bison is notoriously just better at doing basic shit than everybody else, and that's usually because his specials are harder to do. Because he's a charge character,
Yeah.
so it's difficult to just pop out all his good shit like in the middle of a combo, which is what I'm noticing. Because I never played charge characters, so I figured this is a good time to start. And
Alex is also going to be a charge character. So
I was
Nope.
I was super.
not you, the DLC character Alex.
Oh, I was like,
The DLC character that's being released with the March update.
Yes.
It's Alex.
yes. I
Yeah,
knew
they're
that.
usually the ones that are the most rewarding to play, but the hardest to actually do anything with. Like I was in Super Bronze, which is the, I guess the rank above the 1,000 points, league points or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm gonna take my Bison into ranked and see what's up, and fell to 400 league points. So I was rookie again. I'm like, oh right, I'm gonna lose 15 games in a row.
Yeah, I don't know. That game seems like just a really good video game. Like it seems like the fighting of that game is just so compelling.
It's a lot of fun. And other than like a couple characters, it's like simplified
Don't die, Scott.
enough for like I don't know. I was like looking at the command lists and I just see that now I'm paying attention, and I'm just gonna keep going.
I'm just gonna mute Scott so that way
All right.
stop laughing.
Yeah, he's still coughing.
He just got up. and
He's
walked
gone.
away.
Scott's like, dying.
Why are we laughing? Why is
We're
this so
awful.
funny?
Because we're terrible people.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, just ignoring that Scott's gone. So Street Fighter V, it feels like the characters are much easier to get a handle on. And it might just be that I'm like actually trying to get a handle on a lot of the characters now, when in like Street Fighter's past I would just pick a character and only learn them. But like the command lists seem much shorter. I don't know if that's something that you guys would agree with.
I don't know.
Sorta. Depends on the character. Like,
yeah, like Karine, it's fucking huge. Her command list. So.
It's
Yes.
also like it's significantly less intimidating roster. Like when I jumped into Super Street Fighter 4, and,
Sure, there's like 30 characters.
Yeah, there was like 30 characters from the get-go, and then they added like 8 more with Ultra and Arcade. But like I don't know, it seems like more reasonable. Like 16 characters is actually like a round number when all of them are so different from one another.
And I think that's the key here. All of with the exception of Ken and Ryu.
Yep.
All of those characters are different.
And
even Ken and Ryu are different enough.
Feel different enough. Yeah.
They have the same moves, but those moves don't do the same things, or don't do they do the same thing in different ways.
Yeah, they act differently.
For sure.
And like the V system is just, it's not complicated. It's hitting 2 buttons at once.
And I mean, there's also the reversals, which everybody has.
Have you ever done a V reversal, Jarrett?
Yes.
Okay, because I've never seen or done one. So.
With most characters, it's just forward and either all punches or all kicks.
Right.
And I haven't been able to like do anything cool afterwards, but it definitely gets you out of a real bad situation, and then you two just stare at each other. I don't think they do like. You can't knock anybody out with one because it does damage, but only like gray damage.
Yeah.
But it still stops whatever the fuck they were planning on doing.
I did a dumb thing earlier this week where I was fighting against Silver PR, and we had both chipped each other down to like almost no health, and then he was like, "I'm gonna do my critical art," and I was like, "Oh, that's fine. I'll just block it." Yeah. And that
Fail.
kills you. Yeah. So
that's like Street Fighter 2 lessons.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's like the real shining spot of that game is it feels a lot like an old Street Fighter game. Like it loses all of the complicated mechanics and kind of sticks with the ones that matter. Attacks like knock back way more, so it's really difficult to be that guy who has 10 hit combos because you know all the links and shit.
Sure.
There was a whole lot of focus abuse in Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
Focus attacks were like
Scott's not dead. I just wanted to update everyone. He is coming back.
Cool.
He's made it. There's no like crush counter abuse in this game really because you can only really do it not necessarily by accident, but you can't force that particular state anymore. You can't make someone crumble necessarily. Like they have to be fucking up for you to do that. So now that informs you to be less aggressive or be less reckless. The grapple range is way smaller now, so you have to put yourself at risk to really be there. I mean, even like Zangief is a big character with a big hitbox, so he's obviously going to grab way more often than everybody else.
Yeah.
But if you want to be a grabber, you have to like really put yourself in a position to do so, and put yourself in a lot of risk to do so. Before that was never the case. You can grab from across the board almost.
Yeah.
So Alex, in your short time with Street Fighter, who you liking?
It was weird. I liked everybody that I played. Like I really liked. I didn't play Ryu, which is weird. But
I really played Ken, and I picked Ryu.
I really liked Ken. Like he felt there is an agility there that just wasn't there before. And
Sure.
like for example, he's whatever the fucking spinning bird kick.
Felt real good when you started doing that spin kick.
Yeah, like his hard spinning bird kick. He like fucking jumps back and then comes down. It's like that's so cool, and it feels super different, and I can see setting that up in a different way. And plus, like his V trigger, like his feet start catching on fire. So
yep,
that's pretty cool.
I wanted you to see Ken's critical art because it's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, I mean I'd seen it before, but it just it was really cool. Like Lara was really cool. Corinne was really cool. Armiko was cool.
God, you just have to see Laura's alternate costume, and
I've seen it. We talked about this.
Yeah, I know. There's just way too much under boob.
I think I definitely liked her the most.
Okay.
Just from that time I played, she seems like someone I would want to explore.
So
like
weirdly
combo-wise.
enough, Alex, the character that's coming out, has a lot of the same qualities as.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. This is where we are.
As characters that you liked in Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
So if you end up playing Alex, I'm just gonna laugh every time we play.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't know. Like, Definitely things I want to give a shot. I like it with a very small roster. You know, like there are people like Bison and Chun-Li and Cammy that I know I'm not going to want to play.
Sure.
Because I imagine they're not that different from what they used to be. But like, I'm at a place where I want to give everyone a fair shake.
Yeah, and
Bison's a little different.
It's cool that a lot of the characters
Fuck Bison.
didn't change that much. Like I can still pick Cammy and I can still pick like Vega and just have absolutely no way to do anything.
And Vega's like good now. They
Yeah,
fucked
Vega's
Vega
good.
up in Street Fighter 4.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know why.
Scott's
They're
just
just
like,
like,
please
well,
release
Well,
that.
I do know why. When I think in one of the first games that he was available, he had a move set that was just broken. It didn't matter how you balanced.
Well, Street Fighter 2, he was broken. He was 100% broken.
Oh yeah.
Climb that cage.
No, I think they came out with. I think they came out with him in a version of 3, or an arcade version, before some of the multiple iterations of 2.
Vega was
Not 100% sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I'm pretty sure they did 3 and revisited 2.
Alpha 3 he was in apparently.
Yeah, so in one of these arcade versions, there was nothing you could do about him. He had an ultimate close-up. He had an ultimate close-up defense, so you could not grapple him. Grapple characters couldn't do anything. All he had to do was quite literally sit in a corner and do this spinning claw thing,
Yeah.
and grapplers now could not fight him. Then he has this thing where projectiles don't really work because most of them are just straight across the map, and he just jumps over them and attacks you. So you try and throw out a couple of projectiles, he's just going to do that, and then do that spinny claw move for a combo. Where all he's doing with this is he's spinning his arm around in a circle.
He's doing like a spinning bird kick.
No. He's
Not every character in Street Fighter is spinning bird kicks.
Alex, hold your arm up.
It's the only move Alex knows.
All right, now bring it down forward a little bit, like down to your side.
Okay.
All right. No, like
What is happening right now?
I'm on a couch. I can't just
backwards.
put it. Okay.
Backwards. All right, now bring it to the original position.
What?
That is what he does. That's the move. He does that. He does
Jared's
that.
reaction of what the fuck is happening?
That is his move.
So he like spins his arm around.
Yeah, he spins his arm around like that.
Okay.
That was his move. And you
I imagine a
couldn't do
little bit
anything about it.
faster, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm slow. Vega seems cool. I mean, fuck Vega because Jeff Chorney plays Vega and he always destroys me.
I mean,
Destroys me with him. Like there's never anytime I've ever fought Jeff when he's playing Vega, it's never been close in my life. So, and knowing that they fucked him up and made him not good in Street Fighter 4 makes that worse.
Yeah,
because
now he's
in
good.
Street Fighter 4. So,
I'm just waiting for Alex to eventually determine that he should have been playing M. Bison all along.
God,
Yeah,
that's
you
like
come
that's
all the way back around.
the darkest timeline right there. It's like I was a charged character in my heart
dude,
the whole
whole
time.
superpower.
God, I hate charged characters. That's why I was like, Nash seems cool because it's like charging, but without the charging part. So,
Like, I know it's
Fail.
what Capcom was going for, but like every time I see M. Bison, like he just feels like the biggest asshole.
oh yeah,
So no, 100%. You do
Yeah.
that diagonal forward like heavy and just like whoop dude's ass. They like never see it good, so it grabs so far
And
away.
it's just his face when he wins. Ugh.
Yeah, just cheesing at you.
Oh my god.
Didn't even have irises. He doesn't care.
Nope.
I think that's enough about Street Fighter.
I
That's,
mean,
we're gonna
you
revisit.
don't get to decide that.
We're gonna revisit.
Whose show
Street
is
Fighter.
this? Scott's. That's right.
We're gonna revisit Street Fighter for the coming weeks. So.
Oh yeah, Scott. I'm just waiting. You're gonna message me someday, just be like, dude, I need
I want to fight.
I want to fight.
my fight money.
My fight, buddy. Jared, have you been playing anything outside of Street Fighter?
Yes.
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I played Battlefront for a second.
He is currently at this very moment playing Clash Royale.
How's that going for you?
I rented it, and I immediately returned it.
Oh, so it went well.
Yeah, it sounds like it went great.
It's not that I don't like Battlefront. It's just
I think that's
I
the case
don't
with everybody.
care about Battlefront.
I mean,
You would have to play that game for like 10 hours to like really get the most out of it, and I'm just not going to give that game 10 hours.
I see that League of Legends is on your list, so I just assume you've given up.
Well, I write like 50% of what I write is about League of Legends.
I know. I see it all the time on Facebook, and I'm like, man, they've really killed Jarrett on the inside, haven't they?
And like I'm there all the time, just being Tom Kench, just eating people. Because he's the trolliest character I can think of, and it's funny as hell.
Okay. Fair
I
enough.
also like I like that, especially I guess for the last year or so, all the characters they've kind of introduced, with the exception of one or two, they've kind of gotten away from this idea that these characters have to be people that are in a nation and have to tell some weird story about them that no one cares. You don't have an actual real lore. They've kind of just embraced like characters as sort of forces of nature, and kind of made them almost like weird, twisted sort of parables or like urban legends, like Kindred, who's a fox with a wolf spirit that kind of like hops through the forest and is like an angel of death essentially, or Tom Kench, who is a giant frog catfish who is also like a river demon who like lures people with greed. Like for a game that has very like
Sounds like
paper
me.
thin lore, they do a really good job at like sort of wrapping these mythos around certain characters. And when they've gotten away from making people and like gotten away from their own stupid bullshit, they've made really interesting characters like isolated of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like their most recent one, Aurelian Soul, is a giant fucking dragon from space, but he's like a rainbow dragon. And they've written this whole thing about how he used to travel the stars and all that kind of shit. Like it's really interesting in a just like a sort of a short story standpoint, what they're doing with some of these characters. I think it's really cool. And because I like that aspect of them, I am more interested to play them, because now that we're approaching 130 characters in this game, like you have to do something different and interesting, or like what's the point? And all of these characters now are just doing weird shit that like wasn't really in games. Any mobile, let alone League of Legends before. They're just kind of being weird mechanically, and they may not work out. Like pros aren't going to play them, and they're not really viable, but they're interesting. So at least there's something, and people are playing them because they just want to do something different. So I'm glad to be a part of that particular like uprising.
Okay. Go ahead, Tony, please.
Are we at this very moment having a conversation about League of Legends on this podcast?
I think so.
Yeah, without
This
me
is
talking.
bullshit.
This is bullshit. I think we're more having a philosophical discussion about the lore of League of Legends. Which
Sounds much worse.
which sounds so much worse, but like so much.
I mean,
better.
Jared,
Yeah,
I like you.
I'm
God,
surprised.
This is a bad choice in gaming for you.
I'm surprised that your go-to was Kindred, not Bard, as far as Spirit goes.
Bard is really funny too, because Bard doesn't make any sense.
No.
But whenever you see one, you're like, yeah, and he just kind of makes a horn noise at you and floats away.
I've seen it, Alex. It's great.
Okay, good. I just for some odd reason I knew that was for you. Okay. You also have Final Fantasy X on this list.
Yeah, for some reason, I bought the 10 HD remaster last year for the Vita,
Yeah.
and I was playing it, and at some point around July of last year, I stopped playing. I think it's I got to Sin. We have to fight Sin on the ship, and you have a limited time before he just kills you all.
Okay.
And I had ran through that game essentially, with the international version, Sphere Grid, so shit was all weird. Like Waka was my power hitter, and everybody else kind of just sucked.
What about
Waka
Waka?
Waka.
And like,
I like how we made two Waka jokes.
they're two different Waka jokes.
Yeah,
There shouldn't be that many Waka
the
jokes.
Waka Waka joke and the Waka Flocka joke, literally the only two jokes at the same time.
I think I like rage quit a year ago, and just never went back until like maybe a week and a half ago.
So you went back and you were like, "This is a great idea."
And I was like, "What did I do? How did I fuck this up? Because I needed to finish this and get it over with." So I'm still trying to. I'm trying to go run around and find things that'll help me get through this particular fight faster.
Jarrett, I need you to answer me honestly.
Okay.
I'm about to ask you a very important question. Is Final Fantasy X a good game?
Yes.
Okay.
Final Fantasy X does particular things better than any other Final Fantasy game in the series.
Okay.
And the most important thing it does better is its battle system.
You appreciate the full turn base.
Yes.
Not active time battle.
The active time battle system is a poor replacement for real turn-based combat.
See, I always like the active time battle more.
I like the idea. The problem is the active time battle doesn't force you to make any real decisions.
Okay.
Like, on one end, you can kind of just wait for everyone to be up, and then everybody gets to act whenever you want them to act. Or you have spells that can choose your way through them, and whatever speed your ATB is moving is really up to if you've casted haste or not.
Yeah.
There is no real the effect that each character's stat has on the ATB is like some nebulous thing that is really ever like an almost impossible to ever really comprehend. And I've never had an experience where the ATB was something that really made me feel like I was under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I've never the games I've played that had I've had real difficulty playing in the Final Fantasy series always came from the traditional turn-based ones.
Okay.
ATB is fine. I think there are better versions of the ATB than others. Like, I think Final Fantasy IV's ATB is cool because you can actually see the effect of like a fast character's ATB definitely fills up faster than a slow character.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then if you're playing the real way, it will actually if that's one of the games where if you're doing it the wrong way, if you're holding the matchup, like if you don't have continuous battle on,
right?
Because you will not win unless your priest is on hold for healing when you need them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like it's pretty much over. There's a point in the game that when before that cliff drop that Final Fantasy normally does, where it's just like, all right, this is when you're not really going forward much, unless you have a full active time battle on.
Yeah, and I think 9 does that well, and I think the thing that 9 and 4 have in common and why I think they both do so well is they maintain like a strict class system.
Yeah.
Like only certain characters can do certain things, and so now your party composition is based around the characters you have in them. Cloud could cast fire or he could heal. It doesn't really matter. Anyone can do anything in Final Fantasy VII, and the same thing with 8. So you're never stressed to make a party that has its strengths and weaknesses. Any one character can be its own strength and weakness. So that took a lot of the pressure away from the sort of party composition aspect. And since there wasn't a whole lot of pressure in the ATB, you kind of just were there. Like I beat Final Fantasy VIII without ever upgrading a weapon because I never had to. I never felt threatened enough to.
Yeah. I think I have always agreed with you. I just didn't know it because I think Persona actually uses a similar system.
Right. It has an actual turn-based system. Now,
Yeah.
in Persona, it's more like the old Final Fantasies where it's like all the stats that you have determine the turns before you see them. So, like, everyone selects their shit, and whoever's faster goes first.
Yeah.
But that's something that after the first round of combat, especially, now you know kind of how the order is going to go for the rest of the battle.
Yeah. And you can always see who's next.
Right.
Which I remembered because the other game that I've been playing that I didn't mention was Persona 4 Golden. But we can.
Do you ever not play that game? That and like Spelunky, I feel like you're always perpetually playing.
I haven't actually played Persona 4 Golden in like 2+ years.
I feel like the last time I was here, you were playing Persona 4 Golden.
I think you're
I'm playing another Persona game. That was.
Oh, you were playing Q or something. I don't know.
Persona Q. But we'll loop back around to that. I want you to finish up anything you have left to say first.
I wish Final Fantasy X was a better game,
Okay, that's valid.
Mm-hmm.
but
On
I
a
don't think
scale
it's
of
a bad
1
game.
to 9, what would you give it?
I'd give it a 7, and that's higher than I would have given it, a couple years ago. I think I had to play Final Fantasy X again to appreciate it.
Okay.
Um,
It's like a fine wine.
Sort of. Or that I just got older and things that I liked about Final Fantasy before I don't like now, so I can look at a different position. I think 10 does really interesting things in the lore. Like, it's a very interesting story about the circle of life and death, and the role of, belief and faith in a personal sense and in an organized sense and like a societal sense.
Is Orin a good character?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think everyone wants him to be a good character because he's a cool character.
He's pretty cool.
And he is kind of like he's like the Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
but I mean, he doesn't really have an arc. He's just the cool guy pretty much
his
the
arc
whole
already
time.
happened, from what I know.
Yeah, for the most part, and you just learn about the arc like posthumously.
Yeah.
You recognize that his arc already happened, and that's why he is who he is.
Yeah.
He never really changes though.
Yeah.
He's already changed. He already made his change.
Yeah. He's already a badass.
And there's some weird twist at the end. You're like, this is stupid. But overall, I'd say it's a fine game.
All right. I still kind of want to play it, so maybe I'll get there. I forgot to mention that I've been playing Persona 4 Golden. I kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit because it has been a few years since I actually picked up and played that game. It was a thing of like.
Unless you got something negative to say, I don't think there's anything interesting that you can bring up that you haven't said before.
Well, I mean, there are things that I've noticed.
I'm being funny. Continue.
Well, there are things I've noticed that I didn't notice before. And I don't know. It is weird because I'm playing on Vita TV as opposed to on the Vita now. So it is like kind of some aspects of that interface are made for like a handheld screen that you're holding a little bit away from your face. So like like when the all out attacks happen and like all the giant characters appear, I'm like, whoa. But outside of that, it's cool. Like going back to that game, there's so many things like I forgot mechanically about that game because like overall I think I've put more time into the original Persona 4. So I still think those mechanics first before I think of like what they changed in Golden. And like, I was talking about it on Twitter.
You only played through it once, right?
Golden, yeah, like I've only done like a fresh playthrough of Golden once. I played through it again on New Game Plus, but I pretty much skipped through everything just because I was playing the game. Like I was.
You're a monster.
Because I'm an animal monster. So now I just I did a new game, full fresh start. I was thinking about continuing my New Game Plus, but basically I had played through it. I'd beaten the game once, had the New Game Plus file, and then I'd gotten to the final boss, the final boss of my New Game Plus or New Game Plus or whatever. So I'd have to finish that, see basically the ending of the game, and then restart it. And I'd be like, no, I can't do that to myself. So I'll just do a fresh playthrough. And again, this is a thing I've been putting off because I know like once I start, that's gonna consume me, which it totally already has. It's been kind of cutting into the time that I was giving to a lot of other things. But it's good because I think I just needed to play something that I just absolutely adore like this. Yeah, it's cool. Like, I forget how much I just really like the loop of that game. Like, the RPG loop of, like, going and hanging out with people and doing the social links and fucking reading books and studying and getting your knowledge up and your expression up and stuff like that. Like, the loop of that game outside of the dungeons is great, and then inside of the dungeons is great, and then the story, especially if you've never seen it before, is great. So it's like, the three kind of pillars of that experience are so compelling to me. Yeah, it's just, I was thinking about it like 2 hours in, like after I'd kind of gotten through the intro, I'm like, oh my God, there's going to be like a new one of these this year, maybe. And like, that's just so exciting. So, I mean, like, it's something I'll chip away at. I'll maybe bring up here and there over the next few weeks because I think I'm going to be playing it for a while. Hopefully I'll make it last. But I just, I just got to Kanji's dungeon, so
Mm-hmm.
for reference.
That hot bathhouse.
Yeah, that bathhouse. That game is so good. Like, there was always like this worrying nag in my head of like, will I be disappointed if I go back to it? I'm like, well, even if I am, nostalgia will carry me through, and it's like not even a thing of disappointment. It's just like, oh yeah, the mechanics built up, the systems in place here are just really clever in a way that no other game is.
Plus, like if you're playing on like New Game Plus and it gets like kind of repetitive doing the dungeon stuff, you can always just like set everything to mega easy or whatever.
Yeah.
Because New Game Plus, you can basically do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. And I'm just playing through a normal fresh file on normal, and like yeah, it's got a fun challenge to it. Like it's just a really satisfying game. So that will become a story, I'm sure, that will carry on for a few weeks. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we got some news to talk about that Jarrett very lovingly curated for us for the most part. Thank you, Jarrett.
Yes.
So we will be back in just a little bit.
Choo, choo, choo.
I have to pee so bad. So bad. I'll be right back.
Hey, Tony.
Hi.
Is there still a slot?
Let me see.
What?
Scott's trying to join the clan.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
You're talking about slots and shit?
Yeah, they're 49.
All right. See if you can get me in.
So you're looking for the one where the description is something about a wizard. You just search Giant Bomb. It's the first one, I think, because it's got the most trophies. You'll see
How
me in the members.
to clan. Oh, okay. There we go.
It's like I'm a wizard that looks.
It's a fire.
No, the one with the star,
I see it.
or not the star, the red triangle or thing, diamond. Geometry.
It's ASMR with ASMX, right?
What?
ASMR with ASMX, right?
No.
The YouTube video, Game of the Year stuff you showed me.
I know what it is, but I thought you were trying. Never mind.
That's correct, right?
What is?
The abbreviations.
It was ASMR with ASNR.
Oh, okay.
AXNR. That's it. Yeah. Did you find the clan that you're looking for?
Yes.
Okay. It should show in chat when you. Yeah. I can't accept or reject it, but I will say accept this guy. Yeah, okay, so hopefully he sees this request and lets you in, but I can't accept it right now, so.
That's fine.
Nice blanket, bro.
Thanks. It's very warm, which is nice.
I kind of wish it was a Snuggie.
We have a Harry Potter Snuggie in this house.
It's a Harry Potter Snuggie.
It's a Gryffindor robe Snuggie.
That's better than I could have imagined.
Fret not, Jarrett. We have you covered. Keep this up. No. All right.
Scott turned pink. Did anyone else notice this? It was a white shirt. Now, oh no, never mind. I'm dumb. Flux turned on.
You're killing it, Tony.
I know. I'm still not used to like that. It's on my computer.
What the hell? What is your hair okay? It's all swooped up.
I know, right? It's hot.
You got the sweet faux hawk. Should I do that too?
Yeah.
Look at this. This is how we do it. Just get a spike shooting at the fucking top of my head like I'm a goddamn unicorn.
You need a haircut. Real bad.
I'm growing my hair out. Like, that's kind of the point, is like, it's long now.
Are you starting a hardcore band in 2001?
I can't confirm.
Are you going to play at, like, the Dew Tour? The X Games?
We're going to play at the Mountain Dew Tour. Everybody back? Nabashin, you back?
He's gone.
Oh, okay.
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna go real quick.
Go. Hurry.
Well, at least we'll be able to see when Scott gets back now.
That's true.
So
Yep.
like we'll know that he's actually just been sitting there muted for like 10 minutes while we're like, Scott, where are you?
There's a full spread advertisement in the latest Game Informer that is a spot for Zelda, Twilight Princess HD, and Hyrule Warriors Legends that says this March 2 roads lead to Hyrule. Only 2 though.
2 roads. That's way more than the 0 that they
That's
had
more than
before.
1. Yeah, it is more than 100% no roads. And honestly, they're 2 roads you already knew. That game that's supposed to be a new game that's coming out, yeah, fuck that.
I think Scott knocked over his camera or something because now it's just.
I think he turned off the light to throw us off. It's a fucking decoy.
Why would he turn off the light in his room when he's?
I hope it turns back on and then somebody else is there. It's just not Scott.
Other Scott. It's just Scott Sauer.
While we wait, you should watch the Macho Man video.
I had already seen it.
Oh yeah.
Macho
Okay.
Madness
Yeah,
with
this is
Randy Savage.
the fucking All Stars. Yeah, I remember this video.
It's so good.
It's so good. I like your rendition of it more though, because it has our
No,
brand in it.
you can't. You can't.
No, you can't say that.
You can't outdo that, man.
Yeah, Macho Man is the king. And he was probably only a little racist, unlike very racist like Hulk Hogan.
Macho Man Randy Savage has a rap album with real rappers.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was always better than Hogan.
And fucking crazier. Out of his goddamn mind.
Yes.
Jarrett, what is the situation you've got going on with Silver PR right now?
He's keeping me. There's a kind of event happening right now. Like, I guess it's pay-per-view, but it's just on the network. I don't know what it is, really. I only heard about it, like, last week. But he's keeping me informed of what's happening.
Gotcha. Cool. All right, we're going to start this shit. News in gaming. Let's talk about some news, folks. Valkyria Chronicles Remastered is coming to PlayStation 4 in the United States in May. And that's really all I wanted to say.
That's weird that that's, like, finally news. I feel like everybody knew that for, like, years.
Yeah, we didn't know the date. It's like mid-May, right? Something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
just been a rumor since, like, the end of last year. It's funny that we finally got a date.
May 17th. Yep, finally. So, all the DLC that existed for that game will be included as well. So, that's cool.
It's all good.
I'm very excited.
You ever played the DLC?
I've not.
You're good.
Yeah, I heard the Edie's mission thing was good. I just, never got to it.
You can even play as whatchamacallit? I can't remember her name. Starts with an S. One with the drill, the Valkyria.
I don't know her name. It's not like
It's
Sylvia.
Yeah, something like that.
Something. But the other main character. That's cool. I didn't know that. So I'm looking forward to that. Fable Legends was canceled. And Lionhead is being closed, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Fable Legends was the asynchronous multiplayer experience. Brought to you by the same makers of Evolve, but with dungeon crawling. 4v1. One person plays the dungeon master, sets traps, and releases monsters for the party, and they try and get through the dungeon. So yes, Evolve. Not asynchronous, asymmetrical. Pardon me. Yeah, it was in beta on PC for a little while. No phone, get away. Now it has been officially canceled. The beta will run through April, from what I understand. Then they're taking that down. But yeah, this is past that. Like, Lionhead it's closing. So that's a super bummer.
It's also in the wake of that whole Microsoft trying to have one system to rule them all.
Yeah. Which we kind of alluded to a little bit last week. That's like something like that's a whole discussion in of itself.
It is. It's weird. You'd think you'd keep the studios like this around because they're the ones that've been around. They've been under your wing forever, under your umbrella forever.
Yeah. I don't know. It's they closed down another studio, the same guys that made the Max and the I don't remember the full name of it. Max something. Max the Curse of the Brotherhood. Press Play Studios, which is a Danish developer. So they were closed, and their future project was canceled as well. So it was it was two studios closing down, and a lot of people kind of laid off, which is super like depressing, especially like with the lineage of Lionhead. Obviously, they go all the way back to Black and White, which are some of my brother's favorite games. I remember like one of the first big discussions Tony was ever a part of on this show was about Fable 3 and what was wrong with that game.
I mean,
Tony,
I don't remember that ever happening, so
I do. Tony played video games. It's weird. It's like you tweeted out, Nabishin, I think it was you, that I totally saw this game being canceled coming, but I didn't see that also coinciding with the closing of Lionhead.
I mean, they've been talking about Fable since the launch of Fable Legends since the launch of Xbox One. So
Yeah.
it's just been like something that's been talked about forever, and then stopped saying like I remember last year, like even like at E3, it was like the beta's coming out this year. That was like something we were supposed to expect, and like if it came out, I didn't hear anything about it. Mm-hmm. So this is like one of those things, and man, that sucks.
Yeah.
Do you think it's the gameplay style that's like, was it like maybe that was the thing at the time when they were making that game, and then it's like after seeing other games that like maybe it just didn't turn out too well for them?
Yeah, I definitely saw some people tweeting out that asymmetrical multiplayer must have just been a bad bet, since it seems like the reception for all that was pretty poor. I mean, like it's hard to say because like Evolve at the very least reviewed well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So did Titanfall.
And Titanfall, and it sold, and they both sold well. Obviously, they didn't really stick around, but like there was definitely some recouping some of that cost. I don't know, like if it seems like asymmetrical multiplayer is like done, which I hope not, because I think it's a good idea that just it needs something like Call of Duty or Battlefield or something like mainstream and that makes sense and that isn't complicated to kind of even it out to find what that is. And I don't think Evolve was ever going to be that, even though they wanted it to be. And I don't think Fable Legends was going to be that either. So I think that's definitely a part of it, but not the only factor. I think it sounds like Lionhead just had a lot going on. If they're like closing that whole studio down on top of this. I mean, what their last game was Fable, the Kinect Fable game.
Fable the Journey?
Yeah, Fable the Journey. And that obviously, I don't think did very well. So, yeah, it's a series of unfortunate events.
Sony swept in and kind of held like an open house for them recently.
Book series from when I was little.
Yeah, there you go, Tony. Yeah, Sony's they had like a kind of like a recruiting event for Lionhead developers, which seems like it makes a lot of sense. But yeah, that's a super bummer. Lionhead is like a very tried and true studio. They've made like a lot of crazy games over the course of their entire history. Some great, some not as great, but I've always had an appreciation for their games, even though I've never really gotten into any of them.
You always have to appreciate them, but that's what happens when someone like Peter Molyneux runs a company forever.
Yeah.
It's not that Peter Molyneux's a bad guy. It's just like his eyes are too big for reality.
Yeah. um, maybe that caught up with Lionhead at some point. Who knows? In other news, Hearthstone is getting a new expansion. Whispers of the Old Gods.
That
It's
sounds
coming out
fancy as fuck.
in either April or May. It will be a $50 expansion, looks like.
Oh wow.
It's going to be both a story adventure and like a new set.
Yeah,
Usually
so
you do it one or the other.
it's a 50-pack bundle, so 50 card packs. Any platform, one-time price of $50. That's a lot.
Well,
I mean-
usually it's either the story for $5 a wing or something like that for 5 wings, or $20 up front, or just a bunch, or there's a new pack set out. You just got to figure it out. This actually makes more sense. It's more price efficient for someone who wants to do both.
Yeah.
But you're buying a game now. Like $50 is like a game price now.
Yeah, that's a whole game. It's 134 new cards. I guess they've already started retiring the old stuff, the older bundle or expansions. So
Well, they separated them into like kind of like you do with Magic the Gathering, where there's like a set of sets that are in play for standard, matches, and the rest are sort of like too old to play within their own divisions. That's what they're doing now. So cards that came out, 2 years ago, you can't still play competitively because that fucks the balance up.
presumably,
It's just very difficult to balance because of how card games go.
presumably this will be retired at some point in the future. 2 years in the future. Yeah, I mean, you guys excited? Hearthstone buddies over there? Jarrett?
I like the theme, the old gods. It's like all, Lovecraftian, but like in a WoW sort of lens. So like they have all
So
of these.
Cthulhu's wearing a newsboy cap.
Yeah, shit like that. And it's pretty funny. I don't know how pumped I'll be about it when it actually comes out, but I liked some of the art I saw, and some of the cards I saw are actually really funny.
Cool.
There's a character called a Doomsayer that's like a 0/7 that like kills all minions on the next turn.
Huh.
There's a card coming out in this set called like Justified Doomsayer, which is the Doomsayer, but now he's right because like the old gods are dumb.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm into it. Just, I mean, I guess, will they be selling the story and the card pack separately at any point, or they have not?
I don't know. It looks like they're like excited about doing this as a unit, but you could in the past get into the adventures using in-game gold, so maybe that might be a way around it.
Yeah. Okay. EverQuest Next was canceled.
Fucking finally.
Wow, with the sick brand. This was the voxel-driven MMO made by Daybreak, previously Sony Online. They've officially canceled it. It was announced, what, like 3 years ago?
Something like that, yeah.
Titles, the quote-unquote, the titles simply didn't live up to the franchise's standards. I just think that's funny because EverQuest. But as we put the pieces together, we found that it wasn't fun. In a final review, we had to face the fact that EverQuest Next would not meet the expectations we and all of you have for the worlds of Norath. And that comes from Russell Shanks, which is the company's president. But yeah, that's I guess that's a bummer. It seemed like a really cool idea when they announced it, but yeah, I think that could be a thing of like MMOs coming out today. Like who even plays those?
MMOs?
And even if someone did
Alex
want to
O'Neill does.
play
Yeah.
and buy and like spend $20 a month on it, like Who wants to play a game like EverQuest now?
Yeah. If they do, they probably already play World of Warcraft.
Right, they're playing EverQuest 2 probably, which they were developing and still supporting at the same time. So
the real question here is why?
right, and I think when they sat down, they were like, "This is a really good fucking question. How come no one asked us this 3 years ago?"
Yeah, I mean, it's a bummer anytime anything gets canceled, but I'm sure somebody was looking forward to EverQuest next. Not you, clearly, Jared, but somebody.
No, not me. Never me.
The Division is enjoying the highest day one sales that Ubisoft has ever had of a video game.
Take that,
Which is
Watch Dogs.
Yeah, watch underscore Dougs. The game sold more in 24 hours than any other game in its 30-year history, which is pretty crazy. Obviously, we don't have any numbers in this news story. But Yves Guillemot, the CEO and my favorite person ever at E3, says, quote-unquote, the launch of The Division is a tremendous achievement for Ubisoft and demonstrates our unrivaled capacity to create fantastic new game brands and transform them into entertainment blockbusters.
I know I just made a joke about Watch Dogs, but that really is impressive, though, considering Watch Dogs was literally on everything.
Yeah, Watch Dogs was on everything. This is only PC and current gen. Hell, man, Watch Dogs even came out on Wii U.
Yeah, it did.
So
there's some hot ass garbage right there.
That is an impressive signal of like, hey, now these split gen, straddle gen, cross gen games aren't the best selling games.
It's a good marker for the industry as a whole, but it is kind of telling that there are no numbers associated with this announcement.
Yeah, it's super weird. Jared, do you want to tell me about Street Fighter's March update?
Sure. As alluded to, a new character will be added in March. Alex.
His name is Alex.
Comes from Third Strike. He's actually a real big fan favorite in Third Strike. People love Alex. For some reason, I was never huge on him.
Mm-hmm. Is it because he likes to flash people?
He's like, yeah, really. He's a cool grapple character, I guess, but like, I don't know. He was never my cup of tea. Mm-hmm. But he's coming back and everyone's pumped. He's got sweet overalls.
He does,
or just suspenders. I think he had overalls in Third Strike. He just has suspenders now. Yeah. He's a manly man. Mm-hmm. Challenge mode is coming, which is going to be all the tutorials that everyone was mad about not being in the game.
Yep.
How dare you?
The beginner, intermediate, advanced, like skill challenges. They're supposed to teach you how to do more advanced stuff with these particular characters. Mm-hmm. The shop should be open at some point in March, so you can actually buy things. You can actually give Capcom your money.
This is no date on the shop yet?
No.
Great.
Online rematches, which is one of the more annoying things that aren't around. When you're online, games just kind of drop. Like you play your game and then you just leave. Mm-hmm. So you're like, well, fuck. If you wanted to play best 2 out of 3 with someone, which is how like tournaments are played, so long as you both agree to, you can just do that.
The one thing I'm looking at this Capcom post, Battle Lounge improvements, 8-person lobbies.
Instead of 2-person lobbies, 8-person lobbies. So it's not it's a lounge now.
It's literally the best thing about Street Fighter 4, and it's not in Street Fighter 5.
Well, it will be.
Now, finally.
Finally.
That's like the one thing, right? When I found it, I was like, that's got to be there at launch. When I found out it wasn't, I was outraged.
It's kind of hilarious, because like I was saying, talking to Mike about it, there are 2 different brands of arguments about how Street Fighter 5 is unfinished. One of them is like legit, and one of them isn't. There are people who are upset about not having a story mode and all that kind of shit, or arcade mode. I don't believe that's a big deal.
No.
But your game launched without those things, and then you couldn't really play it online like with any stability for the first couple days, and battle lounges only allowed 1 person in, and you can't rematch online. So like you barely have a game. Like the thing your game was supposed to do instead, that we were all defending that this game can do, you can't actually do. So you don't really have a game that works.
Yeah.
That's inexcusable. Especially the fact that the first 2 days you really couldn't even get online to play a game.
Yeah. That's a big fucking problem. Like story mode and all that, like I think is a reasonable expectation with how fighting games are released today, but that's still never really been Capcom's way of doing Street Fighter.
And Capcom, the one of the few things Capcom really went into detail and really like came out and got in front of was that they weren't going to have those things.
Yeah. It's the working and the not actually really being able to play with your friends in a group.
The things you actually have should actually probably work.
Yeah, like you can't. The only way to sit around and play Street Fighter with multiple friends was to actually do it in person. Which
Right.
is, I guess, just not the way of things now.
No, it's more difficult this way because there are plenty of people who play lots of Street Fighter who don't do it in purpose. I kind of lucked out when Street Fighter came out. That was MagFest weekend. Yep. So a lot of people, like 30 or 40 people, were playing that at all times, and there was like many setups for everyone to go play. So we were all learning at the same time. Yeah. Had that not been the case, I'd be sitting at home like twiddling my thumbs because I only have a couple friends that I know personally who play Street Fighter, and I know there are plenty of places to play with just casual matches, with people I don't know. Yeah. But the first couple of days with this game, I don't want to just go to some place with some strangers. Yeah. I'd rather play with people I know we can learn together. Create a real community with us first, and then bring that places.
Yeah, like the group that I would always play Street Fighter 4 with was like people from like all over the U.S. and Canada. So, yeah,
all over Canada,
all over
Toronto, all over the Canadas.
I've played with 2 different Canadians. I'll have one was in Vancouver, one was in Toronto. So that's
just pretty all over,
east and west. So. Yeah, I mean, like that was always my favorite feature about that. So, but that's coming. Is there a date on any of this March stuff?
No, just March.
In March,
April.
So yeah, really.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. They're adding a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and they're doing some balancing too, but that's always going to happen. That's just going to be a thing that happens.
So who's the character after Alex?
I don't know.
Bison? Or not Bison. The rumor is it's Balrog. But I'm not so sure.
Balrog is definitely one of them.
Yeah, Balrog's one of
them. Urin's one of them.
Guile's one of them. Jerry's one of them.
Yes.
They've confirmed all the characters in this first group, but
yeah, they just when they're coming out isn't confirmed.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was a thing known, but
no.
All right, cool. Stay tuned, I guess, for quote-unquote March.
Yeah, for whatever March. Please be excited for March.
Does anybody have any other news? There's the Coleco Chameleon stuff going on that I encourage.
That everybody is talking about.
Didn't Coleco just take their name off of the Chameleon finally or something? Is that what happened?
Alex and I talked about it before we did the Let's Play the other day.
Yeah, I just listened to the Giant Beast cast. Like,
how the fuck is that news?
By the way, there is a beautiful arc to this story that we haven't really been covering, but now that it's kind of ended, everyone is kind of talking about it. But yeah, some fucking great shit happened with the Coleco Chameleon. And like a chameleon, it disappears. But that's it for news. I do have some people pressing me for time right now, so... Oh, I'm sorry. Jesus. So, we'll move forward.
Is it me?
It's not you.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry.
Then they don't matter. Listen, if it was me, then it also wouldn't matter. If it's not an option, press it. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter.
Here, how about this? We've got 2 voicemails. One comes from the lovely Brant Range, and the other is a 6-minute journey from Silver PR. Which one do you guys want to listen to first?
Both.
Brant? Okay.
Is both really not an option?
Both is not an option.
At the same time?
What kind of monster are you?
I am a monster that only has one iPhone that we're playing off of this, so... Alright, I have not listened to this voicemail from Brant, so let's do this.
Hey there, Irrational Passions crew. This is Brant Range. I was called out and told that I had to...
Damn right you did!
And this is going to be fucked up because I'm recording this in the past, you're listening to this in the present, and I'm going to hear this in the future. This is some temporal shit being laid down right here, this question that I'm about to ask. I could ask you something ridiculous. I could obviously go on some sort of weird rant or tirade, and believe me, the next time that I come on Irrational Passion, you know what you're getting.
Okay.
But instead, I'm going to ask you a more
I'm excited
question. I'm feeling a little bit lucid here on this, Tuesday night. So here you go. If you could thank one creator personally for something that they made across any media, what would it be? You have one direct line to their brain. Of course, they'll freak out because they'll wonder, why is this person's voice in my head? Besides the other ones that are telling them to jump off cliffs and dance and watch the Numa Numa video from 2004, a whole bunch. So if you could have kind of a mind meld with one creator to tell them, hey, listen, this thing that you made really impacted my life in a positive manner, what would it be and why? Thank you very much. Don't shout me out again. Just fucking text me like humans.
Can't guarantee that will ever happen.
That's a good question. Who would you telepathically thank right now in this moment? It's weird because I already did, which I think Dan Avedon. Danny Wiesner.
Oh, okay.
Other Dan, but also someone that I love. Dan Avedon for kind of the stuff that he's put out recently, and not so recently. But outside of that, I would thank Brant Ranch for being my inspiration as a human. No.
For being the wind beneath my wings, really.
Exactly. The waffle versus my pancake. I don't know. That's a tough question.
Jim Henson.
Ooh, that is like the best answer. Great. Way to show us all off. That's it. Yeah, that's really good. Jarrett?
I don't know. That's a really tough question.
Yeah.
There are particular things in my life that I definitely have had big effects on my life. I don't know that one is more important than the other. They were all kind of piece of this gestalt that ended up being me. Mm-hmm. I guess in a video game sense, it would be probably Yasumi Matsuno, famous director, video game designer, most famous. Yeah. For Vagrant Story and Final Fantasy XII, as well as Ogre Battle, I believe. All those games are, well, especially Ogre Battle and Vagrant Story were big games in my life.
I would, if I had time to think about it, this wouldn't be like my gut answer, but if I had sat down and think about it, I would think Shoji Meguro, because he actually composed Persona 3 and Persona 4's music, as well as Persona 5 and Catherine, etc. And yeah, that in my recent life, music has become so important, and like going back and re-experiencing some of that, like the sound of those games has a very deep impression on me.
Right.
But yeah, like he's probably my favorite Japanese composer, just because his sound is so different than anything else. But yeah, him or the director of the Persona franchise, that is something that has also like touched my soul in a way.
It's a tough question though, because like, yes, those video games are big parts of my life, but there are things in other parts of my life that are equally as big.
Would you think Biggie?
I want to thank Biggie and Pac.
I would think
for squashing the beef posthumously.
I don't know why this picture like to be on an award stage like I like to give big ups to Biggie and like, I don't know.
First, I'd like to thank God and Biggie.
Those are the same thing.
Also, like Kanye West for like whatever the fuck he's throwing down on Twitter right now.
I would like to thank Kanye West Twitter rants for pulling me through my day.
Exactly right.
That shit is outrageous.
That shit is great. Scott, do you have one?
This is a tough one.
Mm-hmm. I know.
This is a tough one.
Do you want to think about it, Tony? Do you have one to fill?
I have 3.
Oh, okay.
You only allowed to have one.
I'm gonna start with the least serious and end with the most serious.
Okay.
And
If you can have 3, then it'd be an easy fucking question.
Yeah. So the only one that actually matters is the last one. Shut the fuck up, Jarrett. And this specifically has to do with video games because this is a video game podcast. God damn it.
Yeah.
I could cite other examples for life, but I won't. So first one, Mr. Dan Reichert. I would like to.
Dirty Dan Reichert.
Dirty Dan.
Yeah, excuse me, I used the wrong honorific. Yeah, so I would like to put some words in Dan's head. Just be like, hey, buddy.
Hey, let me whisper to you real
second
quick.
one, Aaron
Well,
Hansen.
you see, it would be, hey, buddy, I have your shirt.
Yeah.
Aaron Hansen is a good one. I definitely consider
Aaron
him.
Hansen, because I just want to like have that direct line into his head, so I can just whisper stupid dick jokes to him, and just like fuck with his life for a while, because he wouldn't be able to talk back. He would just randomly get this dumb dick jokes in his head.
Yeah.
So,
and then maybe he'd share one on the show.
Probably. I've been hearing this voice in my head.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
Super weird.
And all it ever does is say fucking dick jokes. And then the one that the like
I feel
the
like
serious,
I'm going
like,
crazy.
So the one that's like that I would actually answer this question with is Koji Kondo.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Because the music that man, as I've always been like a very music like oriented person, and the music that man put out has had a like large impact or like was just very present in my early years. Mm-hmm. So Koji Kondo, known for such greats as Dragon Roost Island and other Legend of Zelda music.
Such jams.
Such jams.
Such
dank beats.
Yeah.
I think he did some Super Mario Brothers music too, right? And some
dank Yarnum Nugs.
Yeah, Super Mario 64.
Dank Yarnum Nugs.
I know. Yeah. So,
yeah.
That's me.
Koji Kondo is legit. Scott, round us out.
I'm just gonna go with Miyamoto.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I feel sorry for messing with an old guy, but like, I because I'm not even sure he's gonna understand the thank you.
Yeah.
Because that'll be the reply. It's just gonna be some guy in his head speaking a language that he does not know.
I mean, he knows a little bit of English at the very least. You...
Like the only thing that I can probably say that he'll make sense of is thank you. But like, is that all I'm gonna say the entire time forever? I mean, I could.
I hope so.
Where are the Koopa kids?
Tell me where the Koopa mother is.
I feel like Shigeru Miyamoto has voices in his head already.
God knows.
Someone's talking to that man in his sleep.
Yeah, it's the Koopa kids.
So the Koopa mom.
Let's check out what Silver PR has to say.
How's it going, guys? So we are here.
Good.
I hope everybody's doing all good and well. My shout outs to Jarrett John, aka Mick Mi Muertes on the Twitters. How's it going, buddy?
I'm sweaty right now, dude.
You and I, we're going to have a little bit of a wrestling minute or two. Some questions that I want your feedback about.
Okay.
Just as a sneak peek. And how's your Ken and Street Fighter V doing? I hope you're getting better. There was some fun matches a couple weeks back when we're doing the Battle Lounge. Hopefully, when the update comes up, you and me, we can do a best of 10 or first of 10. Your Ken against my Ryu. How's about that?
I'm gonna have to pause like every 5
So
seconds.
I digress.
Yeah, go ahead, Jarrett. Respond. Give him.
Firstly, all right. Yes, me and Silver PR played, and we played 3 sets of 5. And the first set of 5, I won 1. He won 5. And you know what? I accept that. That shit was bad for me.
Isn't that a set of 6 though?
Well, it's first of 5, I should say. And the next 2 sets, he forgets to add the part where those sets got ceremoniously cut off by our shitty connection. So those things weren't set in stone. We have no idea how that would have worked out. So I'm saying.
So I'm saying he had 4 wins. I had 1.
He said,
I could have been 5-0.
The first set to 5, he definitely won cleanly. The other 2 are suspicious. Continue.
Okay.
Let's go to games. Not much, just 2 games. Rocket League like usual, ranked doubles, mostly when my kid is awake and he's watching me play video games. I have to say, Psyonix, I give them kudos because they're keeping a community engaged and driven with, new stuff. Not just these small snips as the $2-3 DLCs like, the Batmobile now and some other stuff down the road, but also the free content like this not possible, but how this basketball court kind of level that I guess they made it out of rocket slab kind of deal, and they're just sticking a basketball court thing in it. It's kind of awesome. I mean, it makes not just the community keep engaged, but also a lot of people outside looking in, getting in the community, and grow it a little bit more, and it helps them with more content and more sales down the road. So it's awesome. Kudos to them. Also, Street Fighter Five, like usual, rank matches, and I did some sparring a couple days back with Tony again, with her Armika, aka Titty's Nichan, and I
Titty's
have to say
Nichan.
I
it's
love
getting
that this
better with
nickname that I
Armika,
gave her is catching on.
but it hasn't beat my Ryu yet. But if it
Shut
keeps
up,
going, I
bro.
think it
I
will
got
get
you.
there, and hopefully one day, Tony, you will beat my Ryu. It can be my son, Give. Maybe buying
Yep.
Ken or Nash or whatnot that I use other than Ryu, but someday you will get my Ryu. Hopefully. And that's pretty much about that. A couple tangents. Capcom, my dear God, you guys, you're awesome. You're doing all this stuff with Street Fighter V down the road. The March update looks promising, but stop doing announcements of the announcements of the announcements. And this goes to all video game industry people out there. And I'm talking about, okay, last week they said that they were going to make announcements about the March update. Great. They did it this week. But inside that announcement in information, they announced that they're going to give another date for the release date. So it's an announcement of the announcement. That's just
Starting to sound like Square Enix.
When you have content that you're gonna release, make sure you attach a date to that because it's just detrimental and it just makes people mad, like me sometimes. Like it's dumb. This content should be in the next couple of weeks before the March ends. So just don't be dumb. Just stick a release date. But I think they doing it because final round, the next premium event for the Capcom Pro Tour is coming up next weekend, actually. And there's a thing that maybe could cause controversy because Alex, it's bound to be released, and maybe they're gonna release it before or after the tournament. I think maybe after because they don't want to make a cause of controversy because the character is so new, nobody know how to use it, and maybe people that they're really good at adapting fast could, take this as an advantage, or maybe just the tournament organizers just ban the character for now. I don't know, but maybe Capcom's just playing it safe. Maybe they're gonna release the character past the first premium event, and yeah, but that's just my opinion. And yeah, that's pretty much about that. Now, Jarrett,
Here
you
we
and
go.
me, let's
Hi.
have ourselves a little bit of a wrestling minute.
How you
Three
doing?
things that I'm interested that you talk about. Number one, Lucha Underground. How's
Yes.
good? I mean, do you watch it? Do you like it? How's the ordeal? How's the deal with this Lucha Underground stuff? I know about the guy called Mil Muertes and he's I think the champion right now, and I know the guy behind the mask. The guy's called Ricky Banderas. It's kind of weird, He's a luchador, mask luchador now,
Luchador.
but it wasn't in his earlier career, so it's kind of weird. But what's your feedback? Because I don't have no way to watch this stuff, and I heard good things and cringing things about, but I want the feedback about that one. Also, WrestleMania. What is your thoughts on the card right now? I think it's kind of weak. They're trying to force another AJ Styles Jericho match. The fourth one in this many months, and and Shane versus Undertaker. I don't know what to think about that, and the rest of the card. So, what's your opinion on the WrestleMania
Mac.
card this year? And keeping with WWE theme, let's go with NXT. Who you think NXT talent should go up past WrestleMania? They're always the Monday after Raw, something new comes up, some new wrestler, and somebody from NXT is gonna come up. So who do you think should go up? I think Enzo Amore and Big Cass should go up, but that's just my opinion. So hopefully you'll give your feedback about that. So yeah, that's pretty much about me, guys. Love you all. Thanks for the long voicemail time, Alex. I know sometimes they're kind of detrimental. So, but without further ado, have a fun one. Have a happy Saturday. So PR signing out.
And then he was murdered by dogs.
They know this is going to be his last voicemail.
We love you too, Silver PR. All right, talk about wrestling or whatever.
Right, I'm going to take it from reverse order. We're going to start with NXT. NXT was a project that Triple H took on himself to make a training ground that was healthier and a training environment that was better than the one he grew up in, which was drive around your car, live in your car for 3 years, and hopefully someone pulls you up. If you're a pro wrestler in the 90s, you pretty much lived in the streets. He wanted to make this a standardized thing. You go to a school and you learn how to do it like a professional, and then you go straight to the big leagues. NXT is probably better than the real product because it ignores all of the things that the WWE wants to pretend it is and just is a wrestling promotion. So the disbelief he has to suspend isn't that big. You're there to watch dudes pro wrestle, and that's pretty much it. To answer his question specifically, Finn Balor is probably coming up after WrestleMania because he's kind of the star there, and he's pretty much ready. Finn Balor was a big deal in the indie scene. A lot of his friends have showed up in NXT too, but it's going to be a big year for Finn Balor. WrestleMania looks dumb because
it is dumb.
They almost it's always been dumb, but but WrestleMania itself was supposed to be a spectacle of dumb, so it's dumb, but it's big, so it's kind of neat to see.
Are we saying WrestleMania instead of WrestleMania?
Is there a russet potatoes? Russet Mania?
Russet Mania?
Jack Russell Terrier Mania?
Is that the Irish Wrestling League?
Yes.
Okay.
How'd you know?
It's a gift, and I'm Irish. So.
The WrestleMania card is stupid. Specifically for the match he called out, The Undertaker has stopped being a thing that matters for a long time. So much so that he's just somebody that shows up at WrestleMania and does a match and then disappears again for a year. It's the only
streak and now it's gone. So
now no one gives a fuck anymore. Really, it doesn't really matter what he does now. So he's gonna fight Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon, the infamous son of Vince McMahon. Shane made his career during the Attitude Era and a little bit afterwards by jumping off of shit, pretty much.
it's hot.
They call that in the business spot monkeys. His job is to get the spots. So he doesn't really have the technical mat training, but he'll definitely jump over something 20 feet high.
I don't know, man. Have you looked at his Twitter lately? And he's been training.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm excited. I appreciate Shane McMahon way more now than I did when I was little.
Definitely.
Because you have to Shane was like a 30-year-old dude just in the ring, just literally just doing shit. He's just he was he could have been someone's dad, just jumped out of the fucking audience and just got in the ring.
I love this imagery.
But my favorite.
You see, he sounds like my favorite kind of pro wrestler. Right
It's so good. He's just a dude.
Shane
He had friends. He was in a group of dudes who were all from Greenwich, Connecticut, and they were the Mean Street Posse. Yeah. They were supposed to be tough guys from Greenwich. If you've ever been to Greenwich, Connecticut, they don't have tough guys. They don't produce them. It's just rich people in sweaters. But my favorite Shane McMahon moment ever, he climbed on top of the Titantron stage, 50 feet in the air, and just jumped off onto Big Show. And I'm like, that's stupid. You're both dead.
Yep.
I just want to interject real quick here and just a little message out to the audience. Cameron Abbott, this show is for you.
I don't know who you are, but you're probably right.
It's not for you, Cameron. Sorry.
This episode is
for you.
269 is for him. 2 people, 69.
So.
Yeah?
To close out our voicemail section.
Uh-huh.
As is tradition.
Okay. Now, apparently.
Yep.
As of Monday.
Mr. Joseph Fate.
Oh, shit.
291. You've been called out, my friend.
Yeah, because he listens to this show.
I, much like with Brant Range, will make sure that the message is delivered. Okay.
That's it.
That's it.
The ritual has been completed. The cycle continues.
We've sacrificed. The cycle continues. Thanks, Space Baby. Anything else? Real quick,
I mean,
like
we can
wrestling?
talk about daylight savings time if you want.
Oh shit, that's tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I just tweeted out that I legitimately didn't fix my nightstand clock last year when we fell back an hour
Yeah.
for so long that now it's going to be correct again tomorrow.
Or we're losing an hour though, right?
No, we're going forward.
That means we're losing an hour.
Sure, whatever the terminology you want to use when it is 12 o'clock.
Whatever words, whatever things that are coming out your mouth.
What the fuck you're saying? So there's only 13 hours before I have to go to work.
Yeah,
as opposed
right.
to 14.
Exactly. Same with me.
Great.
Remember when you had to go to school and it's like, oh yeah, like when the daylight saving first happened, it's like, yeah, I get an extra hour of sleep, and now it's like, oh man, now I lose an hour of sleep. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, when you were going to school like that, it was literally the worst thing.
Mm-hmm.
The worst thing. Because you didn't sleep.
No, I went to bed at like 3 a.m. and got up at 6.
Exactly. So instead, you went to bed at essentially 4 a.m. and got up at 6.
Yeah.
It was the worst thing.
Yeah, muscle milk.
Yeah, you drank your muscle milk and you drank your naked and you got out there. That's it, I think. Unless, Jerry, do you have anything wrestling related you want to share with us outside of what you've already shared?
I'm making sure I got all the
Netflix and chill.
here.
I would.
Oh wait, he asked me about Lucha Underground.
Oh.
Real quick, Lucha Underground is a show about a wrestling promotion. If WWE is a wrestling promotion, Lucha Underground is a show about one. So it's not. There's things happening. There's wrestling happening, but there's also like this other story that surrounds this whole wrestling promotion that's also happening. It's super cinematic and really weird. You have to like really embrace the fact that shit is just gonna happen. And when it happens, either you're going to close your eyes and just turn the TV off and just be done with it, or you're just going to sit there and let it into your heart and let it change your heart.
Yeah.
If you can't find it, chances are you can't. It's on DirecTV. You can also get it on Apple. You can buy it on iTunes.
Right.
Purpose it.
All right. I would love to Netflix and chill, but I'm on a bit of a time crunch tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
I apologize. Next time we have a shorter window show, then I would love to do it. But if you'd like to be a part of the show, just like Brant and Silver PR were, you can leave us a voicemail at 404-590-1337. Standard long distance fees do apply. And you can send us an email, mailsack@irrationalpassions.com, MAILSACK. You can follow each of us on Twitter. I'm at AlFighter27. Scott is at WUTTEHCHUZ. Nobishin is at NABESHIN186. That's Nobishin186. And Tony's at Tony Horvath, all one word.
Maybe I should just change my Twitter handle.
Whatever, do you.
It's at Alex O'Neill.
Don't do that. Jarrett, you are at Jarrett John.
Yes.
Because you are Jarrett and you John.
Correct.
You can follow the show on Twitter.
Incorrect. He's John and he Jarrett.
Okay.
All right? Get it right.
My bad.
Also correct.
Yeah? No?
Just for just putting it out there, because people have been asking me about like my references when I do these dumb intros that I do every fucking show. So like I just said I started this last week, but like I just wanted to say it on here so people would know for people who care. Those like I'll just put like every time I do one of these, like immediately after the show, immediately after I do it, I put it out on Twitter, and then like after the show, I'll put it out on Twitter, and then after the show goes live, after Alex posts it for the audio listeners, I put it out again. It's put a hashtag for reference if you want to know what I've been referencing when I do these dumb intros. So
cool, it's a good deal.
I'm just waiting for that weird week where there's not a hashtag for reference because it was original material, son. Nobishin just raps his hot fire new raps.
Oh my god!
The mixtape just goes live on the podcast.
Yeah, it's called The Life of Pablo. You can follow the show on Twitter at IrrationalPod. Some other stuff.
Nobishin's better than Kanye.
Rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. It helps us out a lot. You can check out VG Evo Podcast Network. And Malicious Pod X, our sister podcast. There's just some amazing podcasts that you should totally listen to. I am planning on doing some Division stream this week. I don't know how it's going to go down or if the people that promised me that they would do it with me will do it, but I am planning on it. So twitch.tv/Irrational Passions. Much like Destiny, that's finally something I feel like I can stream again. YouTube, Let's Plays are going to start up again on Monday. Tony and I are playing Omega Quintet. That's youtube.com.
Man, you should sign on for that one.
/Irrational Passions. It is a fucking journey. And those go out every weekday. So starting on Monday. And tell your friends about the show, Irrational Passions Podcast. We would really like it. And word of mouth's the best way to spread the love. For everything else, irrationalpassions.com. That's it. That's the show. Jarrett, thank you for coming on.
No problem.
You know, I really like you as a person, and I like the time that you spend with us.
I mean, are you hitting on me?
You tell me.
You tell me if you're available.
I just, I appreciate the time we have together.
Glad to be here.
And
I'm producing more content for your side again.
Yeah, you're
Jared
producing.
Play Street Fighter, and then you'll never look at him the same way.
Never look at him in the
You'll
eyes
see
again.
Ken in his face every time.
You're producing the new monthly Passions.
Yeah, I was on that.
Tony was on that. It's Michael Martin was on that.
Yes.
That'll be up soon, hopefully.
Should be finished getting edited this week.
By Alex after.
Yeah, there's a sexy question. What? Cool. I look forward to that. And I think that's all I got. Thank you, Danny Wiesner, for opening music of Two Player Co-op and our closing music of The World Is Saved. Hey, Danny, you're the bomb. I love you, man. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Nobishin, for joining me as always. I love all of you intimately. Winky face. I've been your host, Alex O'Neill. Play your games. Stay irrational. We'll talk to you all next week. Tony.
Hey.
This is the part where you do the thing.
I know that's the part where
this is real good
Sometimes
ones.
I just like to make you wait.
Julie,
Tony.
And don't do that. All right, titles for this week. We're sorry.
I'm not sorry.
My pizza's burnt.
I was sorry.
We're going for a journey. My depression is flaring up.
Yep, that's definitely not going to be the title.
The Nabo Man, Brian Jackson. Funky like a monkey. You know what can't melt steel beams? Trying to get up in that dark zone. Alex is a charge character. Scott coughing. 2 Waka jokes.
Why was Scott coughing so funny?
I like to give big ups to Biggie. I think I'm going crazy. Snarky PR. WrestleMania and 2 people 69ing.
I just want it to be the last one. I know it shouldn't be. I'm just putting it out there. Jarrett, what title out of this ridiculous list do you love?
Let's see.
I know which one he can't love. My pizza's burnt because it's too real.
Yeah, that shit hits too deep.
That's a deep cut.
As far as a title is concerned, I like WrestleMania. You know what can't melt steel beams is a good title, but it's a better joke.
It's way too memey.
Right. You have to just let that happen to you when you're listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
It's not going to lure anybody in, but when it happens when you're already here, it's going to be good.
It's going to be good. You're right.
We're going to keep it 100%,
Let that be a surprise.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I kind of like trying to get up in that dark zone. It's topical.
I mean, I'm a bit a fan of the journey.
The journey's good. Nobishin?
well, I like Alex as a charge character.
I also like that title.
It's good that we're distributed. I like Alex as a charged character and also WrestleMania. I feel like as a title, WrestleMania is a very apt way to describe this show.
I also like Funky Like a Monkey.
Who doesn't like Funky Like a Monkey though?
Scott appears in the Google Doc. To
The
take a
Jujul
look.
Doc. I'd be down with Alex as a charge character.
Yeah, out of the votes, that's the one that wins.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of crossover there.
You have to put your face on Bison, though. in the
On
art.
Bison?
Yeah, he's a
Why
charge
not
character.
Alex?
Why not Alex? The
I guess
character?
I guess technically he
No,
is a charge
no.
character.
Do a guile face.
Here,
Just like Street Fighter 2 guile face.
Alex. You
How
want me
about
to make
you
the
do
cover of
the
the stream?
inversions? Like instead of like you putting your face on them, you there put your face on.
Oh my
you.
god, that's way better.
Right,
Yes.
right. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. You put the guile face on you, like Street Fighter 2 guile face.
Face swapping is all the craze.
Yeah.
God damn, if Damien and Ethan asked me to face swap with one of them one more fucking time. Alright, I can say the title. Jarrett, would you please introduce the episode number? I've been waiting pretty much the whole episode to hear you say 269.
This is why I was invited here.
Yep.
I didn't even have to do the show, really.
Yeah, you could have just showed up at the end and said 269 and pieced the fuck out. You would have had to thank Biggie for them mad ups first.
Episode 269, right?
Yeah.
Hold on, I have to take a little drinky drink.
Oh, you take your drinky drink. You do you, boo boo.
I
I like how you and me just like fucking just stole that from Because I keep saying that all the time too. Fuck.
I've been saying it for a while. It's the funniest thing.
I don't know what you've been doing, but I've been saying this all the time.
Get on my level.
Okay. You're listening to the Irrational Passions podcast, episode 269.
Alex is a charge character.
Subtle boom. All right, I picked that one up. But yeah. Oh well.
You can stop recording.
Power.
Japan. Thank you, video viewers.
You see, now they'll have some context with if you actually do that the face edit.
Oh, totally.
It's true. Yeah, there it is.
I love you, video viewers. Bye.
Sweet.